Warning: the following contains explicit language and subject matter that may not be suitable for younger listeners, church folk, and people who enjoy kale smoothies.
Go.
Oh, it was bad. We both got punked.
Yeah, we both got punked, Frank.
Out.
We both got punked.
That's
these
right.
kids these days, I'll tell you what, they're nothing like we used to be back when we were in fraternities. They have no respect for anybody. Okay? They're like stupid little goddamn savages.
They're bitches.
I mean, I came in there right, and I was polite, and I was nice to them.
Yeah.
I was cordial, and they completely goddamn disrespected me. Little idiots! Idiots! I was completely disrespectful. They're supposed to be my brothers, right? They're my brothers? No, that's not fun. What they were doing wasn't fun. They kept zapping us and zapping us. Idiots! Savages! Idiots!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. Man, down. All right, they disrespect. I am a legend over there.
I know you're a legend. Charlie knows you're a legend. You know, that's just the viciousness of youth.
It wasn't fun. It's not fun. It's not fun.
I'll tell you what, dude.
All right, welcome back to APodAmongstMen. This is episode 17. I'm here with my man Mike Sweeney.
What's good?
Host and creator of Keep It Basement podcast show. You can find him on YouTube, Spotify. Where else are you guys on?
Laughable. It's like a comedian platform, and SoundCloud, and YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Laughable. Sometimes I forget. Yeah.
Now, Mike is me and Mike come from the same town.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, man,
Rare.
when I first saw that you were starting your own thing, I was really impressed, dude. Like, I was honestly, genuinely impressed.
Thank you.
Because you really think about it, who else has really done anything?
I mean, I feel like I haven't done enough, you know.
But think about it, like everybody else, like, oh yeah, I watched this on YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch a show. I listen to this.
Yeah.
Nobody's actually making content.
Yeah.
Like, you're legitimately a content creator.
Yeah, I try to be. Yeah, it's funny because like your day one friends, they don't a lot of times don't even listen, or they'll listen a little bit and then be like, oh, that's cool. And then, like, once you do something that's, like, kind of big and elevates you in a way, all of a sudden they're, like, back in the mix, like, saying, great work, dude. Like, you interviewed so-and-so or you did this.
Yeah, and then they're telling people, oh, I know so-and-so since we were in diapers.
Yeah, but the same people are like, you're a loser. You got to go out more.
Yeah.
But, like, it's all love, but it's funny.
No, I mean, listen, those are your friends. The people you've been with since you were in grade school.
Yeah.
Like, I have the same thing. You know, I just found out that my parents have been listening to the show, and that scared the shit out of me.
Can we curse on here?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
All right, just
yeah, it's like a nightclub. You can do whatever you want. I'm having a glass of wine here, so if you hear a little echo, you hear this in your headphones, it's me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let me ask you this: how would you describe your show? Do you have like a lane that you consider yourself in, or like a niche, or do you just do you consider it like a freewheeling, whatever the fuck you want to do kind of thing?
I would say I just like creating content, whether it be interviews, learning, gaining knowledge and wisdom, and just making people feel better, and like comedy, you know, just making people laugh, feel good. I started with radio back in the day. I mean, just a unique come-up story. Like, I did a radio show in college, got in trouble with that, but had like a top-rated show. Started interviewing people in the hip-hop culture because I was like wondering how to get involved in hip-hop and how to like get a career or certain things. And I just started interviewing big names, got in trouble. But like, I learned my lesson and I learned everything about radio, and like I just took it from there and just started creating more. I was scared to do anything. I was nervous. I was anxious. I had like the worst anxiety. Like, I was weird. I'm a weird guy, but like I didn't want to do anything. I was like either gonna do radio or comedy, and I was like, okay, I could talk behind a mic and no one will see me really. So let me start off that way.
Yeah, it's
and
a
that's how I started.
little less intimidating.
Yeah.
Well, what did you get in trouble for?
I was playing like albums, rap albums with curses, and then I was talking about like sexual content. The thing was though, like the guy who gave me a show was mad cool, and he never listened or I never got in trouble. But someone wanted my time slot, so they snitched on me and listened to my show and like recorded it, and then sent it to like the radio station, and then like I got like in trouble and banned, and like people were talking about it in college, and like my friend hit me up and was like, dude, you're like the talk of this like at this club they were at in where I used to go to college at, and they were like talking about how this kid named Sweeney got kicked off radio, and he's like banned from the building, and like my friend was laughing because he knew me, and he's like, I can't believe this shit.
That's good. You got a little buzz there.
Yeah, buzz.
You know, it is like one of the reasons that I was so impressed is because I knew you before you started the show.
Yeah.
And you were a much quieter kid, real like kind of sit back in the cut and just watch what everybody else is doing and analyze.
Yeah, I'll observe. I'm a quiet guy, but at the same time, I think I have a good personality, and I'm very personable with people, and I like connecting with people, and just doing interviews, you know, and make people laugh.
Well, I think you hid that before, and now that it's out, like
Yeah,
you
cat's
really
out the bag.
Yeah, but it's you're showing people who you are, and I really dig that, man.
Yeah, like one of our friends actually, she was like, you're like a different person on the mic, but I at the time I was like, yeah, maybe she's right. Like I'm a hyped up version because everyone usually is on the microphone, you know, like a hyped up personality in radio, like a Howard Stern type thing, Charlemagne. But the thing was, I feel like I got more comfortable on the mic, and I'm better on a microphone than I am with certain things in person, you know.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I have the same thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a little easier with the mic, is you kind of feel like you have a goal, you're doing what you want to do. This is your baby, this is your project.
Yeah,
so you
feels
put more
good.
passion into it. You know what I mean? You care more.
Yep.
Whereas you're talking to somebody, at work, it's just like, yeah, all right, bro. Listen, I got shit to do, bro.
Yeah.
So, what are some things you found, like you've learned, just in the process of being a content creator now?
I like how you say content creator. I wrote that in my notes. I just wanted to applaud you for that because
That's Charlemagne right there talking through my mouth.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
People will label you as like a radio show host or a podcaster, and a lot of the times you're just a content creator. Like you could put the same stuff on YouTube, podcast, radio.
Exactly.
You could be like multi-hyphenate. That's what I always want to strive for, a multi-hyphenate career. Whether it be a comedian, radio personality, interviewer, podcaster, I want all my content everywhere, just spread out, whatever gets the most exposure. Like that's how you win in the end.
Exactly. You got to be well-rounded.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got to attack on all fronts if your goal is to get that content out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like the fact that you guys dabble in a lot of different things. I saw you guys do, interviews with, I saw you did an interview with Schultz and Charlemagne. I saw DJ Envy at one point, right?
I used to intern for his blog, and I interviewed a couple rappers like Dej Loaf. She went platinum. I think it was a Grammy nom, stuff like that. Not like bragging, I'm just saying. And I would
Total name
use
drop.
my Keep It Basement interviews and just put them on his stuff too, and they would accept them. And then over time, though, I was like, dude, he's driving around in Beamers, Bentleys, and I'm like, I'm not getting paid for this. And I'm seeing him stun on social media. I'm like, oh, this is the worst.
Yeah,
But
interning sucks.
it ended anyway, but it was a good experience.
Now, I saw you did all those. You did a little press kit at Exotica and
Yeah. That's funny you said that because Schultz was like, oh, you're the porn guy who interviews people. Because he remembered me the first time I met him, and I showed him my interviews, and he thought they were funny. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm labeled as the porn guy now. Not good.
There's worse things you could be labeled as.
Yeah, but you got to, I realize, you got to evolve. You can't just be one thing, you know?
No, of course not. But you have done other things. It's not the only
yeah.
thing. It's one thing if that, a particular set of videos really hit with people enjoyed it.
Yeah, that hit.
You can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
As long as you, diversify.
Yeah, that was the exposure. Like I said, you were asking me about podcasts and stuff, and I think you got to have some exposure with certain things.
Yeah.
And I was testing certain things in the waters, and I was like, yeah, it would be so funny to interview porn stars and ask for advice because, I need the relationship advice on getting laid. Mm-hmm. And that just did it. It hit big on YouTube and with a lot of my friends and peers and people, and it helped me get recognized where I was able to interview other people,
You find certain topics do better? You get a better response with certain things?
For what, just any interview?
Just in
or
general, sometimes I know I myself touch on some topics that are interesting to me, but then I find out I don't get a lot of buzz from it. I don't get a lot of reaction.
Well,
other things people just kind of.
It's a catch-22 because you're passionate. You got to talk about what you're passionate about, or it's going to come off fake. So in a way, find a balance, what's trending, what's hot now, and then what you like to do as well. Mm-hmm. So for me, all the sex talk stuff hits so hard because of my interviews already on the YouTube and porn. And when I have a girl come over, we ask about it's called bro talk. We ask about relationship advice and how to get women. And it seems like a lot of people like that and listen to that because the girl's pretty, and also because they want advice on how to get better with women. Or women who are haters want to listen and be like, "What's this girl have to say about this?" Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Well, sex definitely sells.
Yeah.
I know for this show, my whole goal was that, I found I just kind of had a moment of, I don't want to say moment of clarity, but almost like an epiphany where I was just like, there's too many guys, because this is in the heat of the Me Too movement when everything is breaking. There's a lot of guys who I keep hearing they feel under attack. They say men are under attack these days. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't feel under attack, mm-hmm. But if a lot of people are saying it, I'm curious. I want to hear what they're talking about. But I just find that a lot of people have bad ideas about what it is to be a man. People have a lot of misunderstandings, and
you're not wrong.
Well, yeah, and I just wanted to to just have some conversations and try to delve into some of the topics. But I don't want it to be too heavy. I don't want to be too serious. You know, I want to have fun shit at the same time where you can be a man and be a nerd and still like Star Wars and Marvel movies and stuff like that, just to kind of show there's more than just one way to be a man.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from because like I'll get made fun of by my co-host Tom Zappia and Alex Nicholas. Well, Alex Nicholas is mad, laid back. He doesn't really get mad or yell at me. But Tom Zappia will be like, "Can you stop being so preachy and motivational?" Because like I love like the motivation stuff, but at the same time you got to take action.
Yeah, exactly.
So like if I'm too serious about the motivation talk, people like zone out. So I always have to throw in a little fuckery, you know, like a little comedy, a little porn segment, or some bro talk.
It's like an episode of a good comedy show. Like it's a funny show, but when they have serious moments, you really feel it.
Yeah.
But then they can lighten the mood and keep it from being too sad, too downtrodden.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I wanted too. I want people to be entertained by it, but I also want people to come away from it feeling better, maybe having learned something, and maybe I'll learn something too.
Yeah, like I'm saying, don't sacrifice who you are or like to try to be something you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like don't sell out like that and do what you're passionate about because there's going to be people who are going to start to listen. Dude, everyone starts out with like 10 listeners. Joe Rogan started out with that. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, a lot of people like Joe Rogan was already a well-established comic and is on TV shows and movies and stuff, so he had a leg up on you and I.
That was actually you sent me some questions, and I was actually going to talk about that, like what I learned about podcasting.
What do you got, man?
It's all about exposure.
That's true.
It's like if you're a celebrity who has no talent, like some people do, some celebrities, that's inspirational in a way because if they can do it, so can you. But like if you're a celebrity with a huge following, people are going to listen to your podcast over someone in a basement like me who might be good and talented but doesn't have a huge following. Exactly. It's all about the following and exposure, which kind of sucks.
It's hard. I heard, I think it was, L'Oreal from Lip Service with Angel Lee.
Yeah.
Her and Wax.
You know hip-hop people? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, I'm a pretty white guy, but I like to diversify in what I listen to.
Yeah.
But I think it was her who said this. They were saying, like, somebody asked her, how do you get followers and listeners for your podcast? She said, just be famous already.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's really hard to break through, especially in this crowded field now.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a hater, but I'll listen to like famous podcasts and I'll be like, yo, this shit is trash. Like if I'm not a fan of the person, and it's all perspective because it could be trash to somebody, but to someone who's a huge fan of that person, they love him and want to know their story.
Yeah, it's true.
It's about getting intimate with the listeners and the celebrity.
Yeah, I have certain shows that I love and I play them for other people, and I just see the dead stare on their face. They're not feeling it.
Yeah.
So it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what did you want to get out of podcasting, and like what lane do you think you're in?
All right. Well, not to come off too preachy, but for me, I've always, I like to think of myself as a passionate guy. I try to be knowledgeable about what's going on in the world. Yeah. And I feel strongly about a lot of shit, but I don't want to just be some like Facebook warrior who's getting into arguments with people online about, the way politics in the world should be. Yeah. Like, it's stupid. It's corny. Yeah. Like, if you're going to do something, actually do something in real life. Don't just talk shit. So I figured, what can I do where, as a matter of fact, our mutual friend, Megan, she was the one that told me I should start something, like some kind of...
Shout out, Megan.
Shout out to Megan P. George was on the show.
Shout out, Georgie.
But, so I figured I listen to podcasts all fucking day at work. Yeah. That's all I do. I don't even listen to music anymore. So I'm like, you know what? I think I could do that. That's how easy it is sometimes. Yeah, I just wanted to do something positive. I want to be, even if 4 or 5 people listen, I just wanted to do something positive and feel like I was contributing in some way to making, I guess, as corny as it sounds, just to make the world a better place. Nah. But I just want to do something good. I don't want to just sit on my ass and like look at the news and get mad at what's going on. So I want to do something. But yeah, like I said, I just hear so many people bitching and complaining, and a lot of them just have the wrong ideas about what's really going on. Like, especially in the Me Too movement, like a lot of people have wrong ideas on both sides, mind you. Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't want to just come off like I'm bashing fellow men, but at the same time, I just think people don't really pay attention to what the other side is really saying.
Nah, they hype it up. It's like you'll get the worst case scenario, like a super, super liberal person, and then you'll get someone who's super, super conservative, and it's to the extremes. The media does it too. It's like they don't balance in the middle. It's just like one extreme to another, and everyone's at each other's throat, and it divides the country. It's not good.
Exactly. It's just they amplify the craziest people, so the loudest voices are all you hear, and that's not most people. So I figured I could just have like legit conversations with normal human beings, not just celebrities in LA who live in a completely different world than you and me.
Yeah.
I want to do something with real fucking people.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
that I work with, people I know, people that you see day to day. Because a lot of the stuff that you hear about on the news and social media, they go, oh, well, Twitter's exploding because these liberals, these parents are letting their 5-year-olds be gender fluid.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I haven't ever seen that in real life, and I don't know anybody who has. So is that really something that's important in my life? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is going on in my neighborhood, in my town?
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk about.
I am so bad with politics. Like, people get mad at me. I have friends who call me a loser liberal, and then I have friends who call me a hardcore conservative.
Well, that usually means you're somewhere in the right place if you're getting attacked by both sides.
I'm just like, dude, like, why do you care so much about like this? Like, I hate the extremeness factor of everything.
Yeah, no, I don't.
You know what I mean?
I try to stay away from politics on the show, but that was just like my reason for getting into this. But I want to keep it away from that. I want to keep it open to anybody. Because,
you said something interesting though. You said that you listen to other podcasts, so Gary Vee has this thing. He talks about documenting over creating. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to document. Like, say if you heard a podcast, they're talking about a topic, and you want to talk about it on yours, and you like give your spin on it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's easier than creating a movie script or creating a comedy routine.
Yeah.
And you could talk about that, and that's what a lot of podcasting is they're just documenting over creating.
Yeah.
But you're still creating in a way, but it's not like an actual.
Yeah, you're still giving your take on stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we just did an episode last week where we talked about just our favorite movies. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's not all serious. Mm-hmm. We talked, and then we talked about 45 minutes about Avengers. So we want to keep it fun. But I try not to do that too much only because I feel like I'm ripping off other people. Like, I could sit here and talk about what Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz do on their podcast. But, if you wanted to know that, you could just listen to them and they say it a lot better than I can.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said before, it's kind of a crowded field right now. There's a million podcasts starting up every single day.
Yeah.
Do you think that this wave is going to break soon? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you have any predictions for where it's going to go?
I think it could get corporate. Like Joe Budden, you said you follow hip hop podcasts. He signed a huge deal with Spotify. They say like 6-figure, 7-figure deal. And then Gimlet Media bought a lot and invested in podcasts in like a media company. I don't know if they're related with Spotify, but anyway.
Gimlet's a separate.
Yeah. I think it's going to go corporate, and that's going to be good and bad because it could turn into radio, like sales advertisements, all that. And because radio and podcasts are so similar. But as a radio guy myself, radio's dying.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, podcast is like the new wave and everything. Obviously, there's a lot of oversaturation, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of podcasts. You got to be unique out there. But I think it's going to get corporate. And then also there's going to be some censorship, kind of like radio. Because think about it. When something gets so popular and people are starting to buy advertisements and you're starting to like get money off of it, then the businesses come into play, then censorship comes into play.
Yeah, could you maybe not say this and stay away from that?
Yeah.
But I think you're already kind of seeing that because most of the bigger podcasts all have advertisers on there.
Yeah, but it's like different. Like Joe Rogan isn't gonna advertise something he doesn't mess with.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he'll do like his vitamins and everything, and he'll get like maybe a sales guy and he'll be involved in that. But I'm talking like when companies get involved, when you have like 30 sales guys with you.
Yeah, when you work for
then
a
it starts
company.
to suck.
Yeah, like
you know
if
what
I
mean?
worked for Gimlet Media, my show is hosted through them.
Yeah.
Kind of at their mercy.
Yeah. All these people are doing podcasts now.
But I think that one of the things that people like about it so much is the authenticity, like the undergroundness of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was talking about that, my friend.
They're not accountable to these big corporations. Like,
Exactly. There was this one episode we did recently with my friend Gordon Baker Bone. He's a comedian and he does a podcast. And there's this hashtag like Black Podcast or whatever.
Okay.
And it's like all underground, up and coming.
no, keep going. I'm just going to get a refill.
Yeah, it's all up and coming Black African American podcast, and it's like a whole wave of these comedians, entertainers, and they all like represent each other and like retweet and like listen and salute and like shout each other out. And it's like a underground type thing where it's like just they're hustling, trying to just make it, and they got everyone listening, and they got like their own fans, everything like that. And it's like an underground vibe, and it's pretty cool. I salute it.
What are your well, let me lead off by saying this. So you're definitely into hip hop culture, as am I.
Yeah.
Would you consider that your lane? Like as a podcaster, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when I first started podcasting, I've been doing this since a while. It didn't happen overnight. Like 2013 I did radio. I started radio, and then like podcasting was like 2015, 2016 with somebody different, and it was more hip hop and comedy. And now it seems like I'm doing more comedy, more interviews, and more like just like everything pop culture. Well, hip hop is like pop culture.
See, the reason I ask that is because I think you and I have this in common, and this is something I struggle with like internally a little bit. I'm into hip hop culture. A lot of the shows I listen to have black hosts, black guests.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people view that in me as me trying to be something I'm not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that whole culture vulture thing. Like, no, that's what I like. I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm still me. But I feel like being a white guy in that culture is a real difficult place to be, especially nowadays. You know what I mean? Like because, like we said, everybody's got their guns up already, ready to.
I saw that coming. Like I was doing radio, and I was like, dude, it's not getting fun. Like you got to like watch what you say. You can't be like too like, you can't be too jokey. And like everyone loves comedy. It's universal. But like there was a time where like everything was getting so serious you couldn't like joke about certain stuff. Like people were getting in trouble on radio. And you've seen it happen like Cypher Sounds. He kind of said something wild about like Haitians, or I don't even know if he did say it, but he got in trouble for it. And just like you could see like the wave coming where it's like political correctness is coming in. You can't say anything too wild, and you can't like even like Charlamagne's changed the way he is with radio. Like he used to like interview women and do like funny sexual interviews. Yeah. And now it's like all changed because of the Me Too movement. And like it's just tough out here, especially if you're a white guy in hip hop. Like it's a rough field, and it is what it is.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of backlash to that whole like the cancel culture, like the PC push that you see. Because most people don't like that. Yeah. Like if you ask the average person, they're not into it. Like as long as you're not like trying to be malicious and go after people, like just if you can tell within the context of your conversation that you're just honestly making a joke, you're not trying to hurt people. Yeah. Then I think most people will kind of let you slide on most things.
Yeah, you would think, but some people are out for like your success because they're not happy about their life, like people on social media.
Well, that's the thing. All it takes is like 5 or 6 Twitter people, and it makes it look like there's some national outrage.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
For the Grammys.
But that's the thing. I honestly believe that it's really not many people. It's just a few loud voices on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, if you ask 90% of human beings in real life, they're going to tell you that, like, no, the guy was making a joke.
I'll give you a good example. There was a time where I was debating on what to do, like, content-wise. And I don't know if you know DJ Academics.
Of course, yeah.
From the area, actually. Like, he was on the same radio station as me at one point. Don't know him personally, like, well or anything, but knew him before he really blew up. The kid's a hustler, no doubt about it. The thing is, he had a channel called War in Chirac. I tell people this. And he's, like, talking about murders of Chicago people, like, some foul shit. Like, some shit, like, if I, as a white person, were to do, I would look like a culture vulture. Like, people would come at me harder than they come at Vlad. And, like, I saw that, and I'm like, it doesn't, like, I don't feel good talking about negativity like that. Like, I know negativity might sell sometimes, and there's a place for it. But, like, I can't just base around my whole YouTube page about that. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. Like the way he's, like, that's the way he literally blew up and, like, got really big because it was, like, a different perspective. And he was, like, talking about people getting murdered in Chirac and, like, making a comedy out of it. And even, like, black people were mad at him, but, like, he made it and he gained exposure through that. And, like, I was, like, looking at that. I'm like, dude, I know as a white person I could never get away with that. And I wouldn't feel right about it either.
Yeah, I think especially being into the things that we're into, especially being involved in hip-hop culture, you need to be very conscious of how your actions and what your words are going to be perceived, because you have zero leeway. You really don't have any room for error, so you have to be very sensitive to what people are how they're going to react to what you say.
Yeah, and there was a couple jobs, definitely. I don't know if it played a factor in, but I feel like I wasn't being taken seriously for my crafts. And, like, I feel like you kind of don't get certain job opportunities. Not saying there's not white people in the hip-hop culture. There is. But, like, I feel like you get labeled and judged. And, it's just wild. I honestly think it was more about the age difference because, like, there was people in higher-up positions, like, they think you can't relate to an audience or understand hip-hop culture when really you might know more than them. Like think about it. Say if you're a 20-something-year-old hip-hop head and there's another person that's a corporate, like, older person, who do you think will know more about hip-hop?
Of course, the younger person.
The younger person will know more, but the corporate guy in the radio station or wherever, the media company, he just cares about numbers and sales. He doesn't know about the culture day in and day out like the 20-year-old something hip-hop head. Yeah. It shouldn't be about race as much as people think it should.
No, that's true.
Because, like, hip-hop is so popular now.
Well, that's true. I mean, we're the generation that grew up with hip-hop.
Yeah.
If you think of when we were born, like, hip-hop was already invented. We don't know a world without hip-hop.
Good underdog mentality, good inspiration too. I like hip hop.
Well, that's it's one of the complicated things. Like, especially, like, race is such a delicate topic. Yeah. And I try to be very sensitive to what everybody else is going through. Yeah. At the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's tough to talk about, especially two white guys talking about hip hop culture. I mean, really,
That's
like,
why
what the fuck are we doing? You know?
My friend makes a joke. Tom Zappia, he doesn't know much about hip hop, and I do. He's like, that's why we have an African American and Puerto Rican host, Alex Nicholas. But like, that's not why. But he just does that joke.
Yeah.
But, like, I could talk to Alex more about hip hop than I can with Tom. And like I get like an understanding where he's coming from, and like it's fun to debate back and forth or agree on topics. And he knows more about hip hop in general, like so it's a good conversation back and forth.
Yeah, well, it's always good to have different types of people.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely
on the program.
Yeah,
like that's one of the things like I'm proud of is that like if you look at all my episodes and my guests, they're all over the place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
yeah.
I think you need different perspectives.
You got it.
Yeah, otherwise you're doing the show and all your listeners a disservice.
Yeah,
if you're only hearing one side of things.
Yeah,
like that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to have a co-host. I wanted to just have a different guest every week, because when you just get used to the same couple people, you get into like that bubble, that little echo chamber where you guys are only living in your own world. So I want to expand it, just any kind of different voice, whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, liberal, conservative, I don't give a fuck. Like whatever you are, I want to have you on. Like that's the way Rogan does it. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why he's so popular, is because he can appeal to such a wide audience.
Yeah.
With such
you
different guests.
You got the Joe Rogan vibe.
I'm bald too, so that helps.
You got the same setup almost.
Almost. I don't have as much shit on my walls, unfortunately.
No, but like
I'm gonna fix that one day. Don't worry.
No, like you said, just being unique, different, interview with random people, all walks of life. That's what it is. That's what it's about. I just want to say I'm not a white devil though. That's where you got to do your political correctness stuff. I just want to say I'm not the white devil. Have you read Charlemagne's book?
Which one?
Black Privilege.
I did not.
He talks about how when talking to like when getting in a conversation with African American people, just state that you're not the white devil when you're a white person, so they know you're not evil and you mean well.
I feel like that's exactly what a white devil would say.
I know, right? That's just like I was doing a little joke, like my friends who are black friends, and I was like, yeah, I got a ton of black friends. It's like the most racist thing you could say, they said.
Yeah, it's like you're wearing it like a merit badge.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, that's one of the things that I find, especially living where we do. It's mostly white area.
Yeah.
I mean, majority.
Yeah.
A lot of people they don't have experience dealing with people of a different race, whether it's any race.
Yeah.
You're only used to dealing with white people. But you see that black people too, Asian people, Hispanic people, you're only used to dealing with your group. And I living here and working in like the city, like Jersey City, and like those, you get to meet different people. So I'm around different people. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are just scared of anybody who doesn't look like them.
It's weird. I don't like always. I know I sound like an idiot, but I don't always think about like the race and everything. And I literally feel like I get along better with I'm cool with a lot of black comedians. And I'm like, I guess it's the culture or like what we both the likes and interests. It just seems like we click better, and like they're they're friendly and they're very opening compared to. I don't mean I'm not dissing anyone. I'm just saying like there's other comedians I don't really know or know that well yet, and like it seems like. There's like a handful of black friends I have who are comedians who are just mad cool.
Well, it's weird because at some point, if you find like I might find that I'm only listening to black artists one day, and I'm like, do I look like a poser? Like, I mean, I just like what I like.
Yeah,
like, I'm not trying. It's not a conscious effort to do that. Like that's something that I've dealt with a lot of my life. Is I don't want to come off like, insincere. Like, oh, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to be some social justice warrior. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's a tricky situation because I just want to be me, and I like what I like. But I feel like a lot of people look at that like you're just trying to be, you're trying to be woke.
Yeah. I like the fake woke hashtag. I do a stay woke or fake woke hashtag. It's fun. But I had a comedian friend, Gordon Baker Bone. I always ask him about stuff like that because he's really big into all that. And I was asking him, what can white people do to help black people out? And he's just like, just listen and be aware. And if something goes wrong or something's not right, you do something about it. Pretty much is what he said.
You want to know a simple one that I heard this from Michael Eric Dyson. If you know, he's a
yeah.
But just support black businesses, black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
Spend your money there. Easy.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's
easy, and that's
like the Killer Mike Netflix documentary. I still gotta watch that stuff.
Well, yeah, that came out. That came out like a year after when I heard him say that. I was like, you know what? I've been on that, and it's easy. You just choose to shop at a certain store. Like when I got married, okay, I could have gone to Joseph A. Bank, but I went to Pseudo in Somerville. Shout out to them because they actually did hook me up.
Yeah,
those fucking guys are legit.
Yeah,
if you need a suit, that's where you go to Pseudo in Somerville on Main Street, people.
Lil Duval said something interesting, I think, on an Instagram post. Don't quote me on it, but he's like, support good business. Like,
that's true.
Just like any business that's dope and like local, like just support them. But obviously, supporting black business is dope and cool. But like, I feel like in a way, if you like, think about this like perspective, stay woke. If you were in a way we're saying support a certain race in a business, like say if there was like this Indian doctor in the community and he was terrible, but all the Indian people went to him and got sick and like died, but he knew they were all supporting him because he was Indian and he was getting money off it, but he was a terrible doctor. I feel like he was using his race in his advantage and messing up the people.
Of course.
So like you could support a business because of a certain race, but it could be a shit business.
Yeah. Well, luckily.
So that's why I'm saying support good business.
Well, that's luckily Tessuto was legit, so I feel 100%.
Yeah, no, nothing.
You know what I mean? But no, you're 100% right.
I'm always thinking different perspectives now, and I'm starting to play
Yeah.
devil's advocate on the podcast because it's very interesting, and that's why people are like, oh, you're a conservative, aren't you? Or you're a dummy liberal.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because I just have an open mind, and I like to get people thinking, and I like to ask these questions.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, you don't want to pander. You know, you don't want to come off patronizing.
Yeah.
You want to be serious. You want to be, you know, if you feel something, you're doing it for a reason, whatever. You want it to be real. You don't want it to just be because, well, this is what they're talking about, you know, on Twitter this week, so I want to make sure I'm hip with the times.
No, yeah, there's a lot of people like that. I was never one like that.
But I mean, yeah, listen, I mean, with your politics, just believe what you believe.
Yep.
You know, forget about left, right, conservative, liberal. It's all bullshit. You believe what you believe wherever it falls on the spectrum. It doesn't matter. Whatever you feel is the right thing is all that matters. But yeah, I don't know. Like, let's get away from race because it's
I didn't mean to get on it.
No, it's not your fault. I think it's my fault, really.
Just interesting perspectives, and it's a time where I guess race is important and everything like that. But yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I'm friends with everybody. Yeah,
be friends with cool people. Like you said, support good business. Just hang out with good people. Doesn't matter what they look like or where they're from.
And don't say you have black friends or it sounds racist. Yeah. Shout out to Q.
Well, listen, dead giveaway right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I have black friends. Yeah, when's the last time you hung out with them? So don't just say you guys work together. Like, when's the last time you guys went out to grab a beer together? You're full of shit, man.
I like when my friends, African American friends, I'll say African American, politically correct, make fun of me and like call me white stuff. It's funny.
Well, listen, everybody has different senses of humor.
Yeah.
See, my thing with that is just to quote Charlemagne again. Just keep the same energy.
Yeah.
If you'd be mad at a white person for saying something about a black person, don't laugh when a black person says something about a white person in the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be fair.
Yeah.
Just be consistent. Yeah. If it's all love, make sure it's all love. But let's get away from that. So you brought up something before about it's more of an age thing. When you like a lot of the problems you see,
I really think so. Yeah.
You see it's older people who are just out of the loop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You and I are millennials. And millennials, I think, catch the worst rap of any generation. And one of the problems is that kids that aren't even millennials, that are the next generation after us, are still being classified as millennials. When you hear people talk about, these kids are all spoiled, they're all weak, they're too soft, these kids. And I think it's not fair. Yeah. It's not fair to say all that because if you think this generation is too soft, well, why don't you look at who raised us?
Good point.
Yeah.
I didn't even, like, honestly, I sound so stupid. I didn't even know sometimes what a millennial was. I was, like, looking into it, like, way back in the day. I didn't even know if I was a millennial, if I was making fun of younger people or older people.
Yeah, I think the exact classification is somewhere between, like 1981, 82 to the late 90s.
Yeah.
So we're in there. I'm on the older side of that. Like, I'm in that. A lot of people say that the older millennials could almost be a generation of themselves because they're old enough to remember the world before the internet. Like, they grew up before the internet.
Wow. Pagers.
Yeah, I didn't get one.
What are you talking about, Steve? We're 21 years old. Don't talk about our age like that. Come on.
Nah, bro, I'm an old man. Like, I'm getting fat.
I'm 23.
Gray hairs and shit. Well, yeah, you're young. I'm not.
Nah, I'm old as hell, too.
You're still younger than me.
But you asked, like, what are some things that are annoying or, like, bad or positive and negatives about millennials? I think social media is the good and bads of social media. You could talk about that forever.
Yeah. I mean, that pretty much can cover the entire spectrum.
Like, you could create... Like, my niece was telling me stuff about YouTube and trying to help my channel out. My niece, who's 13, she watches YouTube more than TV, and that's an interesting topic as well because I feel like TV is not as popular as YouTube now because everything's free. Kids could get on demand who they want to see, who they're subscribed to, and these YouTubers are making tons of money who are younger than us. Like,
you're 100% right. My son, he watches YouTube most of the time.
And it's crazy. The people he's watching are like so successful, and it shows like the positive of millennials is the social media advantage, but the also negatives. You got your little Tays running around on social media. I don't know if you know who that was.
I know the name, but
I don't think she's around anymore for social media. But
I know that girl. She was the one talking all like
she was cursing.
Yeah.
But like, there's positives and negatives of social media, and I think as a millennial and like with millennials, I think that's a big advantage and a positive in a way. The way people can handle social media, but at the same time, it can be a negative as well.
Well, I think that's the problem you see with the generation after us is they've grown up with social media. Like that wasn't the thing. I mean, I was in my 20s when MySpace blew up.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad about that. I feel like I got more women in high school or like
think
college.
About all the dumb shit we did when we were young. Imagine if that was on the internet forever. Yeah. Is that really what you want?
No, but I used to do the same stuff on my phone that I do now. I film my uncle, and I wish I saved that all. Like, he would have been famous by now.
Shout out at Haylocker.
Haylocker, yeah. Like, I literally, like, people were like, oh, like, what are you doing with that and stuff? Like, if you know me, you know that I've been filming, like, funny videos when I was young, like, and of him throughout, like, my life. So it's like the same concept applies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough because I think one of the other things, I think people confuse millennial with hipster.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I'm alone in saying this.
Yeah.
But I really don't think anybody likes hipsters.
I gotta get out more. Where do you see hipsters? Maybe Asbury Park or Brooklyn?
Go anywhere and there's a city. You go to Hoboken. Well, not Jersey City. You'll see them. Jersey City, Asbury. There's going to be a lot of them. I mean, God forbid you go to Brooklyn. Forget it.
Is that gentrification? That's what everyone's talking about?
Well, yeah, it's the hipsters that want to move into an area that starts off kind of rough and shitty, and they want to make it nice and act like, oh yeah, I live in this area, Brownsville. Like
I saw Michael Che had a joke about that. How he said white women are the strongest and most toughest people because they could go into Brooklyn in a hood and create it and survive. It was a comedy joke, but it was kind of funny.
But
he said it better than me.
But he's got a point though.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is with hipsters is. Where do I begin?
I like, yeah, you have the hipsters, millennials. Like, I don't know. I don't like target people like that. All I know is that what annoys me is social media warriors and just people who complain or people who have to hate on everything.
I think there's a very large cross section where those two people overlap.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, anybody. I hate to use the word social justice warrior, the phrase,
it's funny.
The term, because I mean, when you just look at it on its face, it's like, why was that a bad thing? But we know who it,
It's the fake woke crowd.
Yeah, it's the fake woke people, which is really what it is.
They're fake offended.
Well, yeah, the one thing, if you can't be more offended than the person that was targeted.
Yeah.
That's a rule of thumb right there. So if somebody said something bad about, Asian Americans, you can't be madder than Asian Americans.
Yeah, no, I'm more or less about, like, say if someone has a great opportunity and successful and you're trying to kill that man's success or dreams, like being a hater or just doing some stuff where he didn't even do anything wrong.
Yeah, that's cancel culture.
Yeah.
So many terms and... Like,
I don't know the terms. My friend Tom Zappia was making fun of me. I don't know the terms. I'm not a political guy. I just realized...
Yeah, it's not even politics, really. It's just, the zeitgeist of what's going on right now. But I think the terminology is where a lot of people get lost and they get caught up, they get tangled up, so to speak.
I just got called a women hater by a girl, but then she said she was kidding. But I felt bad. I was like, do I really hate women? Because I didn't want to go get a drink with her because she lived too far away. Mm-hmm. Then she heard me talking on a podcast about how there's red flags with online dating and people too far away. Mm-hmm. And she just got mad and listened. Well, shout out that she listened, but she got mad at me, but then said she was kidding, but also called me a woman hater.
How does that make you a woman hater?
It doesn't really. It's just
I'm a long drive hater.
Yeah. Just I don't know. I just gotta keep my guard open.
If you listen to a lot of people, they'll say that they get a lot of heat on social media. They get all these nasty comments, and then if they actually reach out to say you're an actor and you get this nasty comment. Say you actually reached out, DM that person, say, hey man, that's pretty hurtful what you said. What's that all about? And he said most of the time those people are like, oh no, I didn't even think you would respond. It's like you said, it's fake outrage. It's
look at my YouTube comments. I'll have a lot of people showing love, a lot of people showing hate, and people in the you talk about the Schultz interview. Mm-hmm. My friend was clapping back at the comments because people were like, "Oh, you only have one mic, cheap ass podcast," and I'm like, dude, you're watching me do the interview. Thank you for your support. You know what I mean?
You're still here on the page commenting.
If you're hating on someone's page but watching, I want to thank you for that. Mm-hmm. You're taking the time out to help you. It's like the Howard Stern effect. Did you ever see Private Parts?
Years ago.
Well, people would listen more who hated him. And I thought that was interesting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's well documented.
Yeah.
The hate listening and the hate watching.
Yeah. When we have girls on, I think girls who hate the girl that we have on, we had Chanel on, I feel like she had a bunch of haters maybe, and they all listened to her episode.
Why do you think they hate her? Is it just because she's pretty? Is that it?
I don't know. She had a weird story with that. I didn't get into too much detail because it makes me nervous because she has like fake accounts writing their weird things. And I didn't want no bots hitting me up. I said that in the episode. I said no bots hit me up. But like that was just an example. But like, yeah, I got like my porn comments are crazy. I have people who are like really religious, like saying this is shameful. I'm like, why are you looking? I don't get it. Like your comment doesn't mean anything. Like everyone has to have an opinion. That's the problem too. Like even I don't even want to have an opinion on everything. That's why I don't even like to talk about certain things I don't know about. I just want to listen and observe.
Well, I think the problem is with social media, it makes everybody feel like they're the star in the show. That's the thing. So everybody feels like their opinion matters.
That's a problem.
Yeah, it's like no, your opinion is just your opinion, and it has no effect on my life right now. But the problem is with the cancel culture and the fake outrage is that some people actually do get results just from being offended.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing because just because you're offended, that doesn't. All right, if I say something, if I make a joke, and Jane over here says, "Well, I'm offended by that," it's like, well, that means nothing. It doesn't give her some kind of power over me. It's really just Stephen Fry. I don't know. He's an actor and like kind of like a smart guy in general. He made a thing. He's like, if you say you're offended, that gives you no power or authority over me. It's just a whine, is what it is. Saying I'm offended, it's like, well, so fucking what? It doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You're offended? Okay, well, that's you. That's your problem, not mine.
It's the clout generation, too. People will want to be offended and get a bunch of retweets and then feel great about it and then keep wanting to do that.
Yeah, the system rewards that.
Yeah, but, like, there's obviously people doing great things on social media. Don't get me wrong, but I don't, like, dive into the negativity. I support anything that's positive on social media, making a change for the right things.
I feel like that pendulum's got to swing back the other way soon, man. Because, I mean, look at the success of someone like Andrew Schultz.
Dude, I was just going to say, political correctness kills comedy and creativity.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many people that are hungry for something more edgy. Like,
yeah, he's been doing it.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
And you know what it is? If you really pay attention to someone like him, him in specific, he's not actually saying anything hateful. He's not, he's not some alt-right guy. I know that they were calling him alt-right Andy. Yeah, I mean, if you really listen to what the guy's saying,
really nice guy in person.
He really is. I think he has a broader perspective than people realize.
Yeah,
because he is a white guy who is surrounded by people that aren't white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people take that for granted and just want to, just because he said something that's a little inflammatory, they want to go after him like he's just as bad as someone like Richard Spencer, which is bullshit.
Yeah. I got like 500 opinions on this because you talked about Schultz and his crowd. Like Charlemagne and Brilliant Idiots helped his comedy career. He admitted to me in my first interview way back in the day before he like was really hot, like 2016. He was buzzing guy code stuff. And like, the Brilliant Idiots podcast took his stuff to another level, and we talked about exposure. But the one thing about Schultz, though, my friend says it too. He seems like he claims everything. Like he's like, I started like this movement of putting clips out on YouTube. Like people have been doing that, and like he definitely was influenced off other people who've been using YouTube for those reasons. You know what I mean?
It's like you did really that, funny. But you can't claim ownership of that.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
But. I don't know. I just lost what I was gonna say.
And I hope he doesn't get like his ego to him because even my buddy's a huge fan of him. Like, and he saw on his Flagrant 2. I don't listen to Flagrant 2, but I support Schultz. He had like he put his picture on there like as the main picture.
I just saw that today actually.
And my friend's like, why did he do that now? And I'm like, I don't know.
Well, that's
he wants it as his own probably because he knows Brilliant Idiots was more Charlemagne with the
well, I mean, let's
audience.
be honest. Like he's the main guy in that.
Yeah.
And he's got that in Wester Bros.
Yeah.
And listen. As much as it sounds like I'm sucking this guy's dick right now, like a lot of times, like he's my least favorite part of the show, but I have a lot of respect for what he's doing.
Yeah.
So
he's not afraid.
It's all love.
Grenades.
There's no hate.
He's not afraid to get in the trenches and take grenades.
Yeah, he'll say shit that he knows is wild.
Yeah.
But just for the sake of the content.
Yeah.
He wants people to want to listen to it, even if it makes you mad. You're still gonna listen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. Like you can listen to something you don't agree with without it. Jeopardizing who you are as a person.
That's why I've been doing advocate on my podcast because like if someone knows like my friend who's like I know my friend who's on and my co-hosts don't, they're not going to go for the hard hitters. I'm going for hard hitters. Like we had Mickey Gall on, I was like I'm going for the hard hitters. I don't care.
It was right before that fight too, and he bit the kid's ear.
He had some problems. People say didn't look right, and he was like messed up. His liver was messed up, and he went down, and I feel bad. I haven't talked to him much since, and I got to connect with him back. We're about to do some stuff. He's a really good guy, and that's
a tough field, dude.
A ton of credit for getting in that ring and doing that.
You gotta have a set of balls like the King of Bayonne.
Yeah, And like you said, I don't know much about UFC, so I had my intern there. He knew about UFC stuff, and my other friends were there. They liked UFC, and like honestly, I just wanted to interview him like one-on-one about all that stuff, about what I asked. And I'm not a UFC guy, so I thought it went well, you know.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, when you try to get guests,
yeah,
do you ever feel like I've had this problem when I've tried to reach out to people? I feel like they're gonna think I'm just all I care about is my shit here for the podcast. Like they're gonna think I'm just come to them when I need something from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever have that
Yeah,
feeling?
I talked about that with people I had on recently. I had on like Louis. I had Louis on. He owns Dankstop, and then I had Sean Kelly on. And basically, I understand what you're saying. I'll talk about it in depth. So you got to like bring something to the table in a way. Like, say if I keep hitting up somebody who's like famous or big that came on and did me a great favor, and they know like I'm not like a famous broadcasting company, but I get a good amount of views for what I do. So like you gotta bring something to the table, whether a product, like they give giveaways and stuff like that, and the one kid gives jerseys away to influencers, the other kid gives like marijuana supplies and stuff. Like you gotta have a value to you to stay in that circle. Like that's the thing that I've learned as well. I'll interview big names, and I'm such a nice guy and people pleaser where I'll do anything to get the interview and be as nice as possible. And like the interview will do so well, but at the end of the day, I don't necessarily keep the connection like as like someone in my circle. It's very hard to do that, especially when it's like an Angela Yee, Charlamagne, Cypher Sounds. Like the big name interviews, when I interviewed them off the bat in college, I never like stayed with them and connected with them, but they still follow me on social media. But like it's not like, hey man, how you doing? Like you know what I mean?
It's tough because when someone's so big, there's really nothing you could do for them.
Yeah, it's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? And I feel like you can't reach out all the time, and like and it expires. Like it's a time experiment. Like you can't just like 7 years like from now, hey, what's up, man? I interviewed you in like 2014. Can you do me this favor? Like you got to bring something to the table, and you got to just get on your shit.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, luckily, what I was trying to do with this is to have regular people on.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably the most famous person I've had on here.
That's terrible.
But no,
I'm sorry.
The whole idea was I wanted to be regular people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wanted it to be the average man.
Well, we all put the same pair of pants on in the morning. People forget that.
Yeah. I was gonna do a Christopher Walken thing. I don't know. You see the cowbell skit on SNL?
Yeah.
Either way,
You're old
I'm
school.
not gonna do it. I am old school. I'm 34 now.
What did you ask originally? Because I feel like I could get in better detail with my questions.
So
ADD.
Yeah, guilty as charged. For me, because I wanted to have regular people on here, a lot of times it's friends, people I know, people I work with. So I want to, especially with my good friends and my close friends, I don't want to just be the guy that's hitting them up, hey, just come on the podcast, and never seeing them out in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly it's hard. I'm married. I have a family. I have a kid.
Yeah.
My whole life is different than what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's very different for me than I think it is for you, because you're shooting a lot higher than I am.
Okay.
So
you're saying like casually get people on?
Yeah,
I don't find it's a problem. I feel like they'd be happy, or like, I mean, maybe if they didn't want to come on, they'd be like, oh, I'll come on anyway, or maybe
I think you've been in this for a lot longer than I have. So it's probably easier for you. Yeah,
it's easier for me, but I still get dude. The amount of times I've been rejected so much, I can't even remember, and I don't even give a fuck. Like you just start to lose fucks. Like you get so accustomed and good at it and like it, you're like, who gives a shit? That's the thing I was saying. Like with me, it's that I applaud you for doing it alone, because I've done it alone where I'm like talking to myself about news, and I'm like, oh my god, this sucks, and like it's tough to want to rely on a guest, but like guests do make a show, but you have to have the show. Like Charlamagne, Howard Stern originally said it, like you're nothing without, like if you just rely on guests, you don't have a show. Like I know Rogan relies on guests obviously, but people would still listen to him if there was that just chair sitting there and no one else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Rogan could just talk.
And like that's what you got to get better at if you want to take this shit seriously. Like you just got to create a show and a platform and just do what you do no matter who's in that chair.
Yeah, I mean I give endless amounts of credit to guys that literally just do it on their own. Guys like Bill Burr, Theo Vaughn. Yeah. Like they just talk into the microphone. Yeah. I mean, they do shows with guests. But most of the time it's just them. Yeah. And, it takes a very special kind of person to be able to do that.
But guests are also important, because the Mickey Gall was a funny one for us, because like that was the one that was big for the local community and like I guess the UFC community, because after that we had people starting to hit us up and like more DMs like saying, hey, how do I get on the show? And it just like it's all networking and building relationships and connections. Like when we had the Jersey champ guy come on, Sean Kelly, someone DM'd us about coming on. Like all these businesses were hitting us up. We still get random DMs like It's funny. We got. Sorry, I'm burping. We got a rapper who's like, "How the fuck do I get on the podcast?" And all I did was like the tweet. I didn't want to get shot. I'm like, "Oh Jesus Christ, I'm not bringing this guy over." Because I do the same situation. I have a home studio, but at the same time, like, we could get some big name interviews, but we don't know. Like, not to sound pussy, but like, we don't want to have people we don't know there personally.
Yeah, I mean,
where it's like a famous rapper who has gang affiliations, or they're rolling in a rough spot right now, and we know them. We don't want to do it in the location and, like, you know what I mean, compromise our location for the ops.
Yeah, it could be a little stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's never going to be a problem for me. Like,
yeah, I guess, like, you want to take your craft seriously, right? But at the same time, it's more of a you want to get friends on it and regular people. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, no, I mean,
start somewhere.
What I want is for people to be able to listen. Like, do you ever listen to Bill Burr at all?
Yeah,
like, he has people actually like send him emails and ask advice and stuff like that. Ideally, one day I would like to get that.
That's so hard.
It's very hard.
We're starting to get that now, and it's not like a crazy amount, but we got a good amount. And a lot of the times it's social media is huge. A lot of times people just want to come on and interview and promote their stuff, but like, I'm not being a hater, but like, if I'm not passionate about a topic or I don't know the person and they're not like huge, what sense does it make for me if I don't know them to have them come on randomly? It's like kind of like an energy waster for me.
Well, you're taking a big gamble too, because you have no idea if they're going to be good on the mic or not.
Exactly. We've had comedians on, and I thought like comedians would be great on podcasts. They were like the worst. Like, I did one where like she's mad cool, but I did one where I felt bad. Like, I didn't know if I had to edit the whole, like, a lot of it out, because she was like name dropping like no other. Like, it was just like us in the room, which is it. Like, a podcast is a conversation, but at the same time, there's a structure to it, and like, you don't want to just name drop local people nobody know in the comedy community, like, from a global scale, because I'll get people listening in L.A., New York, Miami, like all over, like the internationally.
Oh, it's amazing to see how spread out. Even me, like I had people in India, Australia, like the UK.
Yeah, you got to think big, but like, just get on your shit, and like, if you want to just do local people, that's nothing wrong with that. It just takes time. Like, the whole emailing thing, like, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. Well, I thought was one of the benefits of having regular people, is that no matter where you are, like, somebody's going to identify with that, whether it's somebody who's, a dad with 2 kids, or whether it's somebody who's single and looking, and just people from guys from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to target just guys, obviously, but that is kind of what this is about. It's to make better men.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, and like, we talked about, you were asking about like what I learned about podcasting too, right? Like, I got like the planning. How about that? Like, people don't understand. Like,
that's tough.
This is a side hustle / full-time job if you want it to be. The planning, the research, the pre-production. Think about that. Then the content creation, the live interviews, like what we're doing now, and then engagement, and then the post-production editing, which you said you do all yourself, and then social media promotion, which is a huge chunk of our stuff, and it really does garner success. Like, I'm not just saying that. Like, I don't like social media really. I hate posting myself. I get anxious and nervous, and I find it embarrassing. But like, I'm telling you, like, it's just so weird how it works. When you post stuff on social media, people want to listen. It helps. And also, you got people talking in your local area, like, oh, I heard you do a podcast, or you got a million views on YouTube. Like, how do you do it? It's kind of annoying, because then you get the people who want to start it. And I'm like, then start it, dude. Like, like, I'm the nicest guy. Like, sometimes my own weakness is me being a people pleaser, but it could work in my advantage of getting guests and stuff. But like, there'll be people who DM me who I was never cool with, who like want to come on, and like, I'm like, dude, like, what do you have to offer?
Yeah,
like,
I'm
not trying to be a dick. Like, what are we gonna do? Listen to you fart? And like, I just know it wouldn't be good. But I'm open to like get people on. But I've gotten people like you would never imagine who I was never cool with, who like DM me. Like, I'm always gonna help people if I can, and if they want advice, give it to them, even though I don't know much. But like, do it on your own. You don't want to come and be a part of something you don't know the vision or process. You know what I mean? You got to just do it on your own. Like, find your own stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, because if somebody's DMing you saying they want to come on the show, they don't want to come on and come off like an idiot, like a douchebag.
Yeah,
like they want to come on.
Yeah,
and
like
sound
me
good.
right now.
No, but
I had notes planned, and like, I wrote stuff down to ask you, and I just forgot and just been rambling the whole time.
That's all right. So
I'm used to just like kind of like the podcast is a structure for me. Like, it's a show. Like, my one homie Alex just said, like, tells people, yo, it's a conversation with mics. He's got a point. It is, but for me, it's more because I'm doing the pre-planning, like the questions. Like, dude, the art of interviewing is a skill. I'm telling you. Like, not to toot my own horn, but like, I like maneuver questions a certain way to get more stuff out of people. Like, I kind of feel bad because my co-hosts will want to do some comedy or talk to them, and like, sometimes my ADD kicks in where I'm in a role and I'll cut people off. But we all cut each other off and we laugh about it and joke about it. But like I remember during like big interviews, like, I was trying to get something out of people and it worked. Not like I'm like using them, but like, it was all in favor and fun, because at the end of the day, like, people want to promote what they're here to talk about anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was spinning it to the guest like direction, and it worked out well. But it was just funny how like the interviewing goes.
That's why I was afraid to have a co-host because I'm too much of a control freak.
Yeah, me too.
So like I know what I want to, where I want to be, where I want to get to.
Yeah.
Like what the goal is, and having somebody else, you have conflicting ideas, and it's too much like a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want it to just be my baby, and if it sucks, it's on me, and if it succeeds, it's on me.
You have to have a team if you want. Like a team is important. The teamwork make the dream work, but they have to understand the vision or be
you have
along
to be on the
for
same
ride.
page.
Yeah. Like I got 2 comedians from the Stress Factory because my buddy moved to L.A. Tay, shout out Tay, now he's back in Staten Island, and I got 2 comedians at the Stress Factory because it's like I need comedians, make it funny, and also talking about myself. Talking just alone is just getting too much for me. Like I didn't like it. Like I wasn't as motivated. I'm gonna sit there and talk about like hip hop news, a white guy in his basement, and like just like I'm like I got to do more.
No, I hear you.
So I recruited them, and we became homies and cool. And like Alex is mad laid back and chill and just goes with the flow and just does jokes and talks hip hop. And like Tom Zappia helps out and does social media, and it's just like we work well together. But like I'm more than that. I'm Keep It Basement. I try to explain to people. Like no one in the comedy community really knows me. Like they know me, but they don't know me well enough to like come on the podcast, you know. But like I do the YouTube stuff, interviews, radio stuff, So it's just more than the podcast. I want to just be content creator, like you said, multifaceted.
Well, you hit on something. It's way easier when you have other people involved. Yeah, definitely. Especially just for a recording, just for a conversation.
Just for views, too.
Yeah, that too. But I found that some of the best episodes are when I have all the chairs full, and it's me and 3 other people.
Yeah, you do less work, and there's more voices and more opinions.
It's easier to bounce ideas, and there's more people putting input.
Like if I took a dump tonight and did terrible, I think I'm okay tonight. Not a Jordan performance on a podcast, but I did okay so far.
You're doing good, brother. Don't worry.
If I took a dump tonight, it would all rely on you, and it's like tough. When you got more seats, it's not as bad, but you get less talking time. Yeah. I've had it where I had like 5 comedians on, and I was just sitting there just like letting them talk, and they're like, dude, like they're all looking at me like my Alex and Tom are looking at me like, are you gonna say something? Because like I kind of like generalized. I'm like the general, you would say, because I have the laptop and
the ringleader.
Yeah, the recording stuff. So they're looking at me like, you gonna say something, man? And I'm just like letting them flow and talk about comedy, because like I'll get my time in, I just let them do what they do, and I don't want to just start talking about comedy and shit I don't even know.
Yeah, well, listen. If the content is good, it's your show. They're gonna come back to the show. So
yeah, definitely. I hate like sounding like a loser, like bragging about stuff. But yeah, like it's technically my show, but I love helping people out, and I just love creating.
Listen, bro. If you were making shitty content and you were a loser, I wouldn't have been trying to get you on the show.
Yeah, shout out Fleshlight too. I forgot to shout them out.
Oh, shout out to Fleshlight. Never used one, unfortunately.
I was gonna bring one, but I was like, I think he's married, and I don't want his wife to hate me.
That would be a tough sell.
I may or may not have one in my bag though from a recent promotion.
I'm gonna have to hold off on that one because I have no idea how I would possibly explain that. Married life is very, very different than. There it is. So what? They're sponsoring you now?
Yeah,
it's badass.
Yeah, it's cool. A lot of my friends don't like reposting the stuff because they're like they got like young siblings and stuff, and they see that. But like, it is what it is. Everyone masturbates. I mean, I understand it, but like, yeah, they're sponsoring us. They're mad cool about it, and I'm trying to do more content with them. I've been doing stuff with like Hey Locker and my friends and comedians, just trying to promote the Fleshlight and promote the comedians as well.
Hey, why not, man?
Why not? It worked out well because like I interviewed everyone that has like a female, every porn star that has a Fleshlight. I didn't realize this, but I interviewed like majority of them through my Exotica days, and they saw the videos, they thought they were funny, and they liked it. So yeah.
Well, that's cool. You actually you reminded me of something I wanted to ask you. Do you have anything that's like a taboo, that's off limits? Anything you won't talk about?
Not really. I mean, I guess you know this, but some people don't. Like, I could be very controversial, but at the same time, I'm very nice to my guests because people don't get this. They're like, they don't want to come on because they think we're going to talk about. I just had the business owner want to come on. He listens. He told me he wants to come on, but he's scared to come on because he'll feel like I'm going to relax him too much.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to say something.
I'm not relaxing at all. If you look at me, I'm like sweating. But anyway, yeah, he thinks he was going to say something that will affect his business or make him look bad, and also the content we talk about. Oh. So that's the one bad thing, I guess, from being so open and not giving a shit.
You can take that as a compliment, though, because that means that he anticipated you making him feel that comfortable.
Yeah, he also said I was a great interviewer, and I was like,
Yeah, that's a sign of a great interviewer.
I'm like Tom Brady. I hate compliments. Like, I don't even like Tom Brady that much, but I respect the man for what he does. And I heard he hates compliments, and I like get anxiety when people compliment me. I'd rather have you just say I suck, and I'm like, why do I suck? And I would like work better at it. You know,
it's awkward. And somebody say, I really respect what you're doing. You're doing great. You're making moves here and there. He's like, I don't know what to say to you now.
There's people who fish for compliments, and I'm like the total opposite. Like, please don't compliment me.
I'm the same way. Like, I appreciate it. I'm flattered. Yeah. But like, I get it. Like, lay off now. Let's go back to the conversation because you're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah. But you said anything off limits. Do you have anything off limits on here?
Well, like I said, I try to stay away from politics just because it's such a divisive thing, and my whole goal is to bring people together.
Yeah, so I don't like politics.
I mean, listen, politics is important in life. You got to be involved. You got to at least be informed. But that's not what this is about.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty good. Like, like women we talk to. Mm-hmm. Like, my friends will get mad. Like, if my friend's talking to a girl and I say her name or I say something like that, I'll edit it out because at the moment it's funny to get a reaction out of him. But I won't leave it up there for him. Like, I'll bust people's balls like that way. Or like, I think those, if we have comedians on, they talk about whatever and they talk about stuff that's kind of like really nasty to make them look bad. I'll help them out and like edit it. And I've never had them hit me up like, yo, you took this out, because they don't remember or care, or maybe just not listening to their own shit. Yeah. But like, I just try to help people out. Like, I'm playing like a PR guy kind of in a way to like not affect anyone, because these comedians could lose money off a show, or they could look bad, it could sound bad. But like,
absolutely,
like, there was with the Mickey Gall thing, he kind of was shouting out people, and like I didn't get him to say, but he said like fuck Brock Lesnar in a way, and I was like, hey, am I cool to leave that in? Like he never said anything bad, and so I was like, I left it in, but I didn't promote it hardcore. I could have ran with that and promoted it hard, but like I didn't. I just put on YouTube and just
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to make it comfortable for your guests. You want them to feel comfortable enough to come back. Obviously, you don't want to attack people and
and then
ambush them.
Another thing for your podcast, I don't know, probably not like this, but like it's not like I'm like this, but we had a guest come on who's my buddy's friend, and he said that like he told my friend, I don't know if my friend told him this, but my friend told me this, that he didn't like the way I title things, because like I was kind of like fishing for views and action words. But like people got to understand, like, you have to title things that way, because if you're not a famous person, no one's going to go and be like, okay, I'm randomly listening to Keep It Basement. Holy shit, in hour 2, they talk about this, blah, blah, blah. And, like, if you don't label what you talk about, how are people going to find it or get excited to listen or attract them to listen? Well, I'm good with the marketing part like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, venturing into the whole clickbait thing.
Yeah, I don't clickbait. It's not clickbait for me because I really talk about it, but I don't go hard. I could go way harder and be, like, real negative, but I never try to to fuck with people like that.
Yeah, well, I would consider clickbait like you oh my god, what the fuck is this? And you click on it, and it's really not even close to that. It was just like a an outlandish title.
How long do you do these for?
At least an hour.
Do you edit stuff out or no?
Honestly, the only thing I've ever had to edit out. I'm not going to say it, but I've had to take a break once because I had to pee. That's
really?
it. But I mean, it's been pretty easy. Like, nobody's really said anything too wild.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that who's really gonna say something?
I feel like I could talk for 3 hours. It goes by so fast.
Well, that's good. I mean,
because I kind of like spark noted certain things, or I could have gotten into real detail, but I don't want to be boring or be too long.
No, I mean, I try to keep between 1 and 2 hours. Like, I guess I'm not Rogan.
What are we at now? Do you edit this part out, or just leave it in?
No, you leave it in. Fuck it. We're over an hour now.
All right, not bad.
Although I am gonna probably cut out the beginning because I let it run a little bit. So I could just.
So we're probably not that long. All right.
How
more long you want to go?
Oh, we can cut it out now. We can stop it now.
I'm here for whatever,
I want to give just a little bit more back into the whole millennial thing, like our generation.
Okay. I got stuff for you too.
All right. Well, yeah. What do you got?
No, you could go into millennial stuff.
So, like I was saying before, I feel like our generation's really unfairly maligned by older people, like baby boomer generation. They love to attack us, love to shit on us, love to blame us for the problems that they created.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but me personally, I get really heated. Like that shit makes my blood boil.
Yeah, I think it's more a personal experience for me. So for my opinion, I don't like take it like I laugh at that stuff, but I understand it gets you angry. But for me, I think people who are older don't understand newer generation jobs. Like you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm making money podcasting. What? Like people think radio's still in who are like old and real, and they're like, yo, you got to do radio. I'm like, no, it's not like where it's at right now. And like, and they don't understand these new computer and social media jobs. Like they're used to certain other jobs, and they're not like open-minded where people could be freelance movers or do other stuff. You know, blue-collar freelance work. They're used to just this 9 to 5 clock-in type thing and don't relate to certain things. That's where I get out of certain things.
Yeah, I mean, you could usually tell these people too, like you know, these phones don't work. They can never figure out how to use anything.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that generation is on the way out, but they're still in control of our destiny right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that, to me personally, it gets me gets me tight, because I feel like if you don't even understand the world that we live in today, how are you the one making decisions for me?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't want to look at it that way, because then I feel like that my destiny isn't my choice, even though it might not be. Like, I feel like it's a negative approach, like you said, like to think like they're the reason we do something. It's probably true, but I don't want to think like that. Like, I don't want to be the reason this guy who doesn't know how to work a phone is doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, at the same time, we outnumber them, I think.
Yeah.
But I want to maybe a lot of people like our age need to be activated. You need to get involved.
Yeah.
You can't just float by and not give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
You know, like, care about something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, care about something bigger than yourself. Like, try to be a better person. Try to contribute to the world we live in. There's too many people that just, well, you know, I don't really follow politics. I don't get involved with that. Or I just keep to myself. I just worry about what's going on in my house. It's like, no, the world is bigger than that. And if everybody has that mentality, the world's going to be an even shittier place to live in.
I feel like I got to get better at that.
It's
that honest.
I don't want to come off too preachy, but it's, you know, like, try to make, you know, at least, Jesus Christ, I'm burping here. Sorry, guys. You got to try to be at least a good person. If anybody's going to remember you, you want to make them remember you for a good reason.
Yeah.
You don't want people to look back and think, this fucking guy, that guy didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Or all you did was, you know, this guy went to work every day and he paid his bills. All right, great. You know, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, I want to leave some kind of impact, whether it's small or whatever.
So you're talking about legacy now?
Well, yeah.
Legacy talk?
Legacy a little bit. I'm very aware of my own mortality.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to die one day, and I'm not afraid of it.
I let people get deep before I do sometimes. Like, I could get deep, but I'm like, all right, I'll let them get in the deep end, and then I'll come in, hop in.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean? Legacy talk's big. Like Rogan was saying it, Kevin Hart, like, be the author of your own story, all that stuff.
Yeah. Here's something, though.
What's your obituary say?
If you're going to be the author of your own story, you have to consider, when people read that story, are you going to be the hero or the villain?
Yeah.
That's something a lot of people forget.
What if you become the villain in the end?
Well, then
not good.
That's not good. Yeah. Then you failed.
Yeah.
No, nobody should be the villain.
What about the villain in the beginning? Technically, Jay-Z might have been the villain in the beginning because he was a drug dealer and he was selling drugs to his community. He was doing negative stuff, but he turned it around and became the hero.
I hate to go back to Charlemagne again, but...
Oh, yeah.
Are
we targeting too many black people? I feel like we're targeting too many
No,
black people.
I go back to Charlemagne because I think in this area he has a lot of, you know, very wise things to say.
No, he's got a lot of wisdom.
You got to give
good
people
dude,
room.
Seriously.
Yeah, you got to give people room to grow.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially for men, when you're a teenager, when you're a young man, like, we're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen. Like, you can't hold people accountable for who they were when they were a young man, a teenager, or something like that, because you're gonna grow up and you're gonna learn, like, shit. Like, you're gonna look back and say that was really messed up. And most people are probably not gonna be proud of the person they were when they were young.
No, yeah.
Which is now, this for me is a very touchy subject, because now you get back into the whole politics thing. You're going to bring up what somebody did when they were in high school, when they were in college.
Yeah.
You know, as much as you might not like something, I tell you what, I'm not the same person I was when I was 18.
Yeah, that's the thing. People don't realize.
Yeah, and I would really hate to be judged for what I did, even if something, I mean, there is a line.
Yeah,
there's a line, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say that. There's a line, because if you're legitimately harming people...
If you're like R. Kelly, like Harvey Weinstein back in the day,
there's clearly a line there.
It doesn't matter if you evolve and become a better person. You've done something terrible that you have to do your time.
I agree with that.
But like, if there's something that's so like minimal, that's not even you, people are making a big deal.
You made an off-color joke or something like that. We got to give people a little bit of room to grow.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, if you were legitimately harming people and hurting people, sorry, but you crossed the line. So there's no forgiveness.
What do you think? I don't know if I'm going off topic, but what do you think? In your 30s, what do you have to accomplish? Like, what are the keys to success? Like, people are like, in your 20s, you have to learn, and then 30s, you have to earn. Like, what do you think? Like, how not to be a loser in your 30s?
Well, for me personally, the thing that really changed it...
Or 20s.
Well, and I don't think it matters whether it's 20 or 30s.
40s, yeah.
It doesn't matter what age.
Yeah.
Parenthood.
Really?
I think for me, that was what flipped the switch. And now my situation is a little different from most people because I came into the game as a stepfather, not as a biological father.
My dad's the same with my brother.
Yeah, so it's a little different, but in my particular situation, you know, my stepson's father is far away, so I'm the one that's here pretty much all the time.
So are you telling me to have a kid?
No, I'm not telling you to have a kid because I think not everybody should have a kid.
Yeah.
But that is what changed my perspective. Like for me, it's not about whether I'm famous or whether I have, you know, how many zeros are attached to the end of my bank account. I'm literally responsible right now for shaping another human being.
That's
and
right.
I don't want him to be someone who's gonna, you know, be a drain on the rest of the world or, you know, have a negative impact. I want to help prepare him to be the best man he could be and leave a positive mark.
Don't be like me.
But that's the thing. Everybody's different. Like, that's my goal as a person. You could have asked me 10 years ago what my goal is. I wanted to be a dad, which is weird.
Good daddy gang.
Because now that I've got it, I realize how much different it is than I expected it to be. But, yeah, like, I like teaching, whether it's, you know, as a father or just at work. I'm an electrician. I have apprentices. I like teaching. I want to help prepare them to be the best they could be. So I feel like whatever knowledge I have, I want to share it with people. You know, I want people to look back at me and say, oh, you know, he told me that. He took time to show me this, and I have love for that guy because of this.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to be.
Yeah.
I don't need to be the guy in the spotlight. That's fine. I mean, obviously, I started my own show, so that's a little bit of bullshit, but...
No, it doesn't mean that, though. Like, you're educating through a podcast. Doesn't mean... There's, like, comedians who don't care about being famous, but they want to make a living at what they like to do.
Yeah.
There's a difference. I don't really like that shit either, but gaining exposure would definitely help pay bills and help elevate me to a different level. So I guess in a way I would need that.
Dude.
But for me, it's always passion for profit. I don't know about you.
Oh, dude, listen.
I gotta love what I'm doing. You know?
If I just do this once a week and I'm having fun, like I really enjoy it. I enjoy having different people in here and just having conversations about whatever the hell.
Yeah.
That's fine with me. I don't need to. I have a job. I have a career. I don't need this to pay the bills. This is costing me money. I don't give a shit. So
I feel that.
Ideally, one day, if I could pay the bills with just this, I would be the happiest person you've ever met. But that's a long way away.
Yeah, yeah.
So I agree with you 100%. Passion over profit.
Yeah, I always ask people that.
If the passion's not there, the content's going to be garbage.
I've asked every interview person I can, and literally everyone has said passion. And like I think one rapper said profit. And he's not rapping anymore.
Well, there you go.
Not to be a hater, but.
Well, we're not saying names.
Yeah, but like, okay, so you said parenthood. Okay, what if you're not into parenthood? Is there anything else that you learned? Like, because I know a friend who was like really depressed and down at life, and this is a rare situation. He got a girlfriend and completely got happy, got a better job, became so much a better person, and he said like the girl shaped his life. But then you see those memes that say you got to love yourself before you can love someone else, and I think that's also true.
Yeah, that's true. You got to be a whole person.
I've been in a toxic relationship. It didn't work out. I'm not the most perfect. Greatest boyfriend, you know, I have work to do, but like I got treated pretty bad, and it didn't help me become a better person. I feel like you have to be your own person first.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to being in a relationship. It's not, you can't depend on that person to be your everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If
definitely.
you don't have yourself established, you don't have yourself figured out, they're not going to be able to really help you. Like, they could maybe point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like a real relationship, what they should be is they shouldn't be your foundation. They should just be a backup, a support system.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones just giving you the push.
Yeah.
You're not standing on their shoulders, because if that's what you're doing, as soon as they're gone, you know, you're done.
What do you think about, like, there's girls who want to be married by a certain age and pregnant by a certain age? Do you think that's okay, or do you think they're just rushing for
I think it's stupid. They're setting themselves up to fail.
Yeah.
You know, the problem with that is that...
And guys do this shit, too.
Yeah, anybody could do that. A lot of people put preconditions on relationships, and what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to miss out on something else that you might not know is potentially better. If you're saying, oh, my type is, you know, Hispanic girls that are under 5 foot tall, like, okay, that's fine, but what happens if you meet someone who's perfect for you that's 5'1" and Irish?
Yeah.
You know?
That's shout out to all the girls on the dating apps who want a guy who's 6 foot or taller.
Yo, fuck those girls. I'm just saying, if any of those girls, any girls who have been on dating apps are listening right now, and you've put height requirements on your profile, you can go fuck yourself. And you can take that to the bank, and I'll die by that.
Was this Disneyland?
No, you know what the problem is? I feel very strongly about that, because before I met my wife, when I was single for a while, I was on, you know, like Tinder and all the dating sites.
I think they make it worse. I think it make you more depressed if you're in a funk with women. I think it makes it worse because
it makes it harder.
You don't even get real dates with them.
I've had people that wouldn't even, like, they like me, they like my picture, and then they ask me how tall I am. I'm like, well, I'm not a tall guy.
What do you write back? I'm not a tall guy. Hey, I'm not a tall guy, you know?
The best response I ever saw was online. A girl said, "Oh, how tall are you?" And the guy says, clearly he was lying. He said, 6'11". He goes, "How much do you weigh?" And she says, "Why does that matter?" I said, "Well, why the fuck does it matter how tall I am then?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got something that I forgot that goes with what you were talking about millennials and like what you were talking about like the good and bad. And I was going to say less, this goes in with the dating, less old school and communicating in person is not as good as like the older generation, I would say. And I was listening to Sebastian Maniscalco's book, Stay Hungry. Shout out to him. He's good.
I saw him at Stress Factory.
Really? Way
Yeah.
back in the day?
It was 2014?
Okay.
13 or 14.
Yeah.
He burned the place down. He was amazing.
Yeah, he's good. So like he's big on wine and dining women on dates and stuff. And
He's old school.
His wife Lana never got a real date like that, and when they first started dating, she was like taken back from it, and she was used to never going on real dates like that. And she's younger than him. She was like, I think she's like 10 years younger, so she's like a little older than us, or maybe around the same age. No, I think older. But my point is, like, pretty much, like, she was not used to a real date, and look how pretty she is and beautiful she is and cool she seems. And, like, she was taken back by the whole whining and dining. I thought that's very interesting because I feel like for some people, the old school values are not there anymore. And honestly, myself, like, I'm not a huge whiner and diner, and people, like, I'll go on different types of dates when I get women or laid. But, like, I feel like a lot of people in our society, it's different, the dating culture and
well, yeah,
I mean,
I think that it's common. A lot of women are taken back by that because it's so uncommon nowadays.
Yeah.
But at the same time, guys are only going to do what women are going to allow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if women aren't taught, like, you should expect this. Like, if you're going on a date, a guy should not necessarily pick you up, but he should be polite. You know, if a guy's inviting
I saw you post this about something about if you have a daughter, you have to raise her right and be the good father so she sees who to date.
Oh yeah, as a father, you're your child's model for society.
Now we're getting deep.
Yeah, no, this is great.
What about all the porn stars and strippers? Does that mean they have bad relationships, you think?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's why it's like people, not to like you know how I said that one girl said that she I was mean with women. Another girl complimented my interview, said I humanize, or I made it personal. I feel like it's a weird word saying you humanize porn interviews, but like they said I was really good, personable with the porn stars.
Yeah, I think that's a little telling of the person who was making that comment.
Yeah,
saying you humanize
my
someone
one
who's
buddy
already
said that.
human.
Yeah,
you know,
and I used that word and it didn't feel right after I said that I humanized them.
No, I think you're right. It shouldn't feel right because the problem is in this country there's such a
we're getting all over the place. My bad.
Porno is such like a taboo kind of thing.
Yeah,
like people, you know, whether even as liberal as some people like to say they are, we're still actually a pretty conservative country. So people still, you know, there's things that are off limits. You don't talk about that in polite company.
Yeah,
porn is one of those things. It's very
or fleshlights apparently.
Well, listen, hey, I'm not gonna knock your hustle, dude. You know, more power to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just that says a lot about the person making the comment.
Yeah.
Is that you think that they're not a regular person. It's like, why not? Just because they happen to have a camera in the room when they have sex?
What they should have said, it's so weird talking about myself, but like the way I do it, not like creepy charming, but like I'm able to communicate and be personal with people because like I'm kind of influenced by the Oprahs, the Howard Sterns, the people like that, you know, the good comedians are personable. So I'm able to kind of just, my whole thing is when I do these interviews, I hate being the center of attention. So my whole thing is to give the bigger name the attention, but also get some jokes in and be myself and have good interview skills. You know, I got to work on being okay with being the center of attention. But yeah,
no, and there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're going to have guests, you want to let the guests shine a little bit.
Yeah, that's I like doing
not
that.
a little bit, but you know, as much as you can.
No, yeah, I definitely like doing that. But yeah, we went on like 70 topics.
That's cool.
My bad.
You got any more?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you. Do you think one is born as an alpha male or born into one? Because I know you guys like talk about that stuff and what consists of the perfect man. Because I feel like I'm trying to work on certain things, but like you were at one point I was saying how people shouldn't get involved in too much because you lose focus on your goals and like you get distracted. Like especially me, I'm like a scatterbrain ADD guy. And then you were saying that everyone should have a say in certain things. So I was like, dude, where's the line crossed? And then I wanted to know about this alpha male stuff too.
So this is a complicated thing, and I have some pretty strong feelings about this. First of all, the alpha male idea doesn't exist in human beings.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, like it's a misconception. Like I understand it's never getting like the terminology is what screws it up for people.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
And your podcast title, so I want to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Give you a good question.
Well, biologically, there's no such thing as an alpha male in humans. Like it exists in the animal kingdom and everything, but not for us. It's different. And I think that the problem with the culture of men, like the idea of masculinity, is that we put ourselves in this box, and it's this self-perpetuating cycle where you have to be tough, stoic, strong, like all those things we associate with masculine values. Like those are real, but we limit ourselves. Like if somebody's, they have sympathy for people, they're compassionate. A lot of times, like, you're a fucking pussy, bro.
Yeah,
just toughen
I've
up,
gotten that.
do what you got to do. The problem is we're still human beings. Like there's nothing wrong with having empathy as a human being for caring about somebody who's maybe weaker or smaller than you. Mm-hmm. Like that should be something that we take pride in. Being a protector, not a predator. There's a fine line there. There's a difference, and I think that a real man, isn't limited by what a group of fucking meatheads is telling him.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to feel your emotions. The only emotions that most men allow themselves to feel is anger.
Yeah.
Like it's bullshit. It's a quick route to the fucking grave. So what I think is a real man is someone who's well-rounded. Someone who can recognize, the softer tendencies in himself. Like you shouldn't feel so insecure that you can't show who you are as a person.
Yeah, I think that just being who you are is real shit.
Absolutely.
Realness.
And listen, not everybody is a big tough, guy.
Yeah.
You could be a real man and just, be someone who works on a computer every day.
Yeah, and I'm not going to sit here and say it didn't take me 2 hours to change a tire. Like, you know what I mean? There's things I can get better at as being
I don't know shit about cars, dude. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, I could rewire your house, but I don't know anything about what's under the hood of the car.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody knows everything.
Yeah.
And you can't expect yourself to. And to hold yourself to that impossible standard is only going to leave you,
and
chasing your tail.
What you said about meatheads, if you go to, like, DJ's or somewhere in Belmar and you were to give some, like, caring speech to a girl, she would look at you and laugh at you and leave with the so-called alpha male.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, it's not just us that's seeing this stuff. It's women, too.
Yeah.
You young girls.
I feel like what you just said, though, would not get anyone pussy. Not being a hater. I'm just saying.
No. That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything you just said is right, and I try to be that. But like as someone who sees it and been in that situation, I feel like it doesn't help a woman at all. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like the one you want to marry will help with, but not the one that is going to be a summer fling or a girl just knowing you right away. You can't get into all that detail.
Well, here's the difference. I think the big difference right now is you're a single guy, I'm a married guy.
Yeah.
So I'm coming at it from a completely different perspective.
I feel bad I'm cursing.
No, they're fine. Don't worry about it. Like this is whatever anything goes.
Yeah, I gotta keep it real, for the people out there listening, the single people.
You gotta
bring something
keep in
here.
mind what your goal is at that point in time. If your goal is to find a woman, everything I said still applies.
Yeah.
Confidence. Is not just a masculine value.
Yeah.
Confidence could be anybody.
Yeah.
Women respond to confidence. You don't have to be a douchebag to be confident. There's a big difference, and it's important not to confuse the two things because a lot of guys think you just have to be overly aggressive and you're loud.
Yeah.
Like, that's not confidence, bro. If anything, that shows more insecurity.
You know what hurt me though? Not to cut you off, but keep going at this because you're on a good point. Deprecating humor. I think that's confident in a way because if you're able to make fun of yourself and not care at all, I think that's true confidence. But in comedy, people consider that kind of tacky because it's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
And I have a comedian friend, like if I make a joke on the podcast or like in person, he'll always be like, "Nah, bro, you're good. Like he'll like big me up, but like he didn't understand the humor where it's coming from because he doesn't really make fun of himself, But like with women, they see that. Like you're kind of trying to help them out because you're lightening the mood, making fun of yourself and making them feel like nice and normal. I feel like it doesn't help a lot of women. And then also your friends see that you're making fun of yourself and they'll make fun of you and you're okay with being the joke. I feel like that's true confidence, but it definitely hurts with women because I've been in that situation where like, say if my boys know me the best compared to some other dudes, they'll all talk to me and I'll be the joke to connect everyone. And there'll be girls there and they'll be like, talking and they'll start being a part of it as well and making
you
fun of you.
become the butt of all the jokes.
Yeah, you'll become the bestie.
Yeah,
and you're not like the man's man, but deep down you are and can be. And
here's the rub with that.
It all depends on the crowd, though.
Yeah, it's all about you have to be in proportion. You can't just only make jokes about yourself. You have to space them out a little bit. You have to show you're confident, but you're not too confident. You don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah. So there is a line you can cross where it steps into the realm of becoming like it's just a defense mechanism now. I'm making fun of myself, so you can't do it.
I think that's what it was.
It's the whole 8 Mile approach.
Yeah,
I
do that. I do that. You can't make fun of me. You can't say anything that I won't say about myself. Yeah. Like Charlemagne said, the Eminem theory. But yeah, also it just I forgot what I was going to say. I had something good, but shit. The 8 Mile theory.
Yeah. No, that's a real thing, though. Like, there's nothing wrong with cracking a joke on yourself. You break the tension. You let her know, like, I don't take myself too seriously. I'm not above, a sense of humor, because the last thing a girl wants is a guy with no sense of humor.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that. That's the oldest thing in the book. You have to be able to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And with a girl, you can't be all business. I mean, I guess there are some women that might like that, but just be easy, like be laid back. You don't want to come off seeming too desperate, too like you need to talk to this girl. You want to come off and make her feel comfortable.
It depends what you're looking for too. If it's a one night stand, I've seen people act like something they're not to get laid.
I'm not good with that, man.
Either am I, and it hurts me because I've actually been in situations where if a girl was really drunk, I wouldn't hook up with them, and then she would want to hook up, and then like my friends would get mad. This actually happened in the summer, and it wasn't a good situation because I got hit in the ear by my friend, and I was.
It's a dangerous game to play these days, man.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that because I was just talking about on my podcast, and this is what I'm getting into. Having a podcast, I'll get back to what I was just saying, but my point was having a podcast. I don't know about you now because you're married, you're good. I'll say things on the podcast and women will listen and it'll be used against me. But they don't understand that I'm being an entertainer, but as well being real, but hyping myself up. Like I don't really, in radio, if you listen to my old stuff, I was hyping it up, but I was being who I am in real, but entertaining. And like it didn't help get women. It hurt me in a way because people would listen and they'd be turned off by what I was saying.
Yeah.
But it's like who I am, and I'm kidding, but at the same time I'm being real. And I think it's hard to talk to a girl if she really knows you and her first reaction is listen to your podcast.
Yeah.
It's a huge it's trouble. Even Schultz said it's tough to date girls with comedy, especially if they listen to your YouTube stuff first before meeting you. They have this vision of you of who you're not.
Yeah, especially doing what he does too. Yeah. But I think with that in particular, you have to give people as much context as you can. It's just so. I mean, listen. I know you as a person. I trust that you're not coming from a place of malice and bad intent. So just give people the full context of what you're saying and try to explain it as best you can. In the best possible terms. Yeah. Because especially with the not hooking up with the girl because she's drunk.
That really happened this summer. I got hit in the ear by a drunk guy for not hooking up with her, for not fucking her. And I was like, they were looking at me like I was the bad guy. I couldn't believe it. I was in a fight with my friend and talked to him for months. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like I was looked at as the bad guy because I didn't hook up with the girl. Yeah.
But now what do you do if that girl wakes up in the morning and has no recollection of what happened? She wakes up in bed next to you. Yeah. And now you're the bad guy. Yes. Now you could have serious problems on your hands.
I should have just drank and black out. I didn't drink. I had work the next day. I'm not a huge drinker, and which is tough meeting women. She was blacked out, wasted, looking for, I think, any day, to be honest. And then what's funny, because you gave a great speech about like being the nice guy. I was the nice guy. The next day, I texted her, tried to get like a date. She blocked me on everything. Yeah. Like I did something wrong.
You know what though? Then that's someone you don't need to fuck with.
No, I know. But I didn't care. I thought it was hilarious, and I was like, "Why be nice to girls? Your mentality, kind of." But you can't generalize women.
Exactly. You can't generalize people. So, if anything, you just found out. All right, well, that's someone who I really don't need to be involved with.
Yeah, that whole crew was rough. Those girls sucked. Yeah, they were yelling at me for not hooking up with their drunk, blacked out friend.
You need to at least, as a man, feel confident enough in yourself and your own moral judgment that you're making the right decision. Bro, even if your friends don't like
everyone was against me, it was amazing. I was like, what the fuck? Like I was asking random girls off the street, you would have died laughing. Like I was street segment, like you think of a microphone in these girls' faces, random girls I was asking, they're like, no, you're absolutely right, you're doing the right thing, because I was walking away from all like the shit.
Bro, here's what I say, this is what I stand by this is almost like the motto of the podcast. What would Captain America do?
I don't know, I don't watch a lot of those movies.
Doesn't matter.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. You know what the right fucking thing is.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. You feel your intuition.
You don't need your friends to back you up. If you know it's right, you know it's right.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they don't like it, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, you know how people act when they're blacked out or on drugs. It's all bullshit.
Exactly.
You follow your intuition.
You do the right thing because you know it's the right thing. If the whole world is telling you to move, it's your job to fucking stand there in the way and say no. If you know it's right in your heart, then fuck what they say. That's my whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's also something that comes with age. Because I've had a tight group of friends for the last almost 30 years. Yeah. The problem is, as you get older, people drift apart. Yeah. You can't rely on your friends to be there to back you up and give you the advice you're looking for every step of the way. So you have to trust in your own decision-making skills. And you have to believe that you know right from wrong. I think most people, once you reach a certain age, you know right from wrong. There's really no excuse. Like, I thought it was okay. Like, you knew that shit wasn't okay, bro. So as a man, as you get older, you need to at least trust in your own moral compass. I think you did what was right, and if they don't like it, fuck
I did. Yeah.
So I give you all the credit in the world. I think you did the right thing.
I just find it funny that there's actually some girls that will block you for like trying to be nice the next day. I guess they just wanted the one nighter.
Maybe she just had the wrong idea.
No, it was just a weird situation. Believe me, I did everything I could right, and like she unfollowed me and shit.
I try to never assume the worst in people. So if something like that happened to me, I would just say like, she probably just got the wrong idea. It makes your life easier.
Yeah. No, I didn't care at all.
People had the best intentions.
I didn't care at all. I was actually trying to get they were trying to persuade me to hook it up with her, and I was just not a fan of the situation. You could tell the energy is off certain times too. The energy never lies. Like if you're the sober guy and there's people blacked out and doing weird shit, and just
you feel like you're taking advantage.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be that guy.
And you just feel like the vibe is off, you know. And you feel when the right vibe happens. Like if you're smart with intuition and stuff.
Listen, bro, you're a human being. If you don't feel the vibe is right, it's not right.
Yeah. And you said something cool, like as your friends get older, you kind of fade away, but you're still boys day ones.
Yeah, you still love them. It's not a knock on your friends.
Yeah.
It's just, you become your own person. I'm not the same person I was when I was in high school.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my boy Louie, who was the first guest on the podcast.
Louie. Shout out Louie.
We met when we were in high school. But I'm not the same person now that I was then.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't love him with all my heart, like he's my own flesh and blood.
Yeah.
But it's just the relationship is different because we've both grown as men.
Yeah, my brother told me that he's older.
Yeah.
It happens. But
we both have our own families, so we're looking at things from our own perspectives, and it might not be the exact same.
I don't know about you, but have you started making new friends in different circles? Because with me being in the comedy circle, even though I'm not technically a stand-up comedian, I tried a couple times, but I made comedy friends, and then I made friends through hip-hop and like the podcasting stuff and just connecting. Have you gotten to that there yet, or you're kind of just? Well,
I've been networking.
You're so busy anyway. In your own life.
I mean, I got a lot on my plate as it is.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I've been trying to network with other people. I became friendly with this other podcast, the Three Ninjas. Shout out to them because they're fucking awesome. But they're these three dudes from Connecticut, and their whole.
Oh wow! How'd you connect with them?
Well, I actually listened to their show. One of the guys had a meme account in Gotcha. And my boy Deshaun followed them, and I followed him and reposted some of his stuff. So I started following him, and I found out he had a podcast.
Yeah.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
But I reached out to them and just showed them love. Hey, I really like what you guys are doing. Keep it up.
Yeah, you could also do phone. You could also do phone interviews. I used to do that.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about doing some Skype interviews.
It's less intimate because you're not there in person, but you could get bigger type guests or who you want.
I'll be honest, for me, because my equipment, my laptop is so old, I don't even trust that the thing wouldn't crash midway through.
I think I had the same laptop and radio, and it crashed a few times for big interviews.
This thing just crashed 6 times yesterday.
You should have saw me working radio when I didn't know what I was doing. It was a train wreck. Hilarious. But yeah, shout out to Dell. I had that one.
Don't give away my secrets here. I don't want people to think this is all bullshit.
You were talking about leaving a legacy though, but you know what's crazy? Do you think the content will be forever as part of your legacy? Do you know that some of the stuff might never get deleted? They talk about it. Schultz talks about it. Charlemagne. It's kind of crazy to me because not to bring up the porn interviews for the 50th time, but that could be there one day for my kids to see. But it's not like I'm doing anything wrong. If anything, in a weird way, I'm educating.
I'm totally okay with that. One of the things I kept in mind when I started this is my son, when he gets older, could potentially come back and listen to this.
Don't listen to this episode, son.
No. Listen to it. I want him to listen to it all. The good, the bad, all of it.
What not to do? Listen to me.
No, my whole thing is that... Did you ever watch Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm not a huge TV show guy.
No, that's fine. But either way, you remember in the first season, or the first and second season, Jax had the diary that it was his father's. So he was reading his father's direct words.
Yeah. I'm just going to say yes, but I'm going to let you talk.
Either way, this is almost like my letter to my son.
Gotcha. That's real shit.
I want him to be the best man he could be. And I want him to know who I was as a human being, not just as his dad, just as a man. See my own shortcomings, the things I struggled with, my own problems, and things that I try to improve about myself. I want that to almost be a roadmap for him. Maybe he can avoid some of the problems that I went through by listening to what I have to say about it.
That's real.
So, yeah, that's...
What about goals and stuff? Do you think for instance, we were just talking about YouTube. Sometimes I watch YouTube videos and think I'm productive, but if you watch all motivational YouTube videos all day, you're not productive.
That's true.
How do you take the action, the time management, and what do you do for goals? I was asking Corey about goal setting and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one of the big things is if you set a goal, keep it to yourself, because as soon as you put it out there, you put too much pressure on yourself, and a lot of times that's how people fail.
Really?
You set a goal that the only person needs to know about that is you. For instance,
I think you told me this before.
I don't know, weight loss. Say you're a heavy guy, you want to lose 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Best thing you could do, set that goal in your own mind and keep it to your fucking self. As soon as you start telling people, all you're doing is setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, it's true. Do you write them down though? I heard they're writing them down.
No, I don't write them down. You know what it is? I'm probably not the person to ask because my goals aren't that.
You don't have ADD,
I'm not shooting that high. No,
because I could think in my head of my goal. A week later, I'll forget it.
Well, I forget stuff anyway, but that's just because I suck.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, if you have a goal, you'll know you have a goal. You won't need to write it down because you won't be able to stop thinking about it.
True.
You know, it'll keep popping up into your head. Like I knew I wanted to create something. Like I used to be in bands. We used to play, do all kinds of shit. I knew I wanted to be in some kind of creative space. In this case, because I love podcasts, I started a podcast. So, and it wasn't hard for me. I didn't have to write it down. I didn't have to make a list because I just knew, I felt it. So if you have a goal, something you feel like you were really meant to do, I think you'll know.
Yeah.
It'll be there.
Yeah. It sounds so fucking silly, but I had email Fleshlight on one of my reminders, and I showed my co-host. I'm like, yo, we should reach out to Fleshlight, and it fucking worked. Because I got rejected. First I got no answers back a couple years ago. And then I looked at this old document where I had what I wanted to do in content creating. Mm-hmm. And one of the things was interview Ryan Davis. That was the time I did that. And then it said email Fleshlight. So I sent the Fleshlight. I sent it to my buddy and he emailed them and they got back to us. And that's how it worked. Weird shit.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what though?
It's not an actual goal, but it was just on my reminders, to-do list.
Yeah, but you took action.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was a goal, you did something. You got up off your ass.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not literally, but you did something. You took an action. You made a move. That's what I think matters.
Yeah, what you were talking about with podcasting, it's more than just podcasting. Like YouTube, like you said, audio, radio. It's just all in one, but there's different goals for that. It's 5 different things, but the main picture, the main goal is what you want it to be,
Bro, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put a pin in it because...
Getting tired?
We're getting up to an hour and a half.
Oh, all right.
And I got to edit all this so it can be out and released on time.
All right. What also, minimalism? What's up with that?
Minimalism?
Yeah, do you know anything about it?
Living minimalism?
Yeah, what's the stoicism you were talking about, minimalism?
Oh, the stoicism?
I know that. I was reading something by Ryan Holiday. I try to read it. It's a read it every day type thing, one page per day. But what's up with that? It seems like minimalism is in and stoicism.
Well, stoicism, I think, is a great thing because, it's like a school of philosophy.
Yeah.
I don't know how best to describe it. I'm not big on...
You're not big on it?
No. It's not... I follow a couple, pages where they put up quotes from, Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius and people like that.
Yeah.
But...
Seneca, right? Seneca.
Yeah, Seneca is another one. I'm not the most knowledgeable person. I'm not the most well-read person on that.
Gotcha.
If you wanted to ask me about Charles Bukowski, that's fine. But when it comes to
that guy's nuts, right?
Mark, dude, he's one of the most entertaining writers ever. But I'm probably not the best person. But it's almost like something that goes hand in hand with modern ideas of masculinity, or at least being a strong man. Think of the strong, silent type. Stoic is a word that's often linked to that.
Yeah.
So,
it reminds me
being in control of your own emotions and being very self-aware.
Yeah. And not taking things too seriously, kind of like minimalism. It seems in a way just do the best you can do without overthinking shit, which I got to work on.
Yeah, listen, one of my biggest things, me personally, is not to let your emotions control you. Feel your emotions, accept them. Yeah, it's hard. The whole idea is you need to acknowledge that they're there and actually feel it, experience it. But don't let that control you. Don't let that be your driving motivation. You know what I mean? Don't be the person that sees red and then the next day you look back fuck, what did I do? Why did I do that? That wasn't me. You know what I mean? I don't know if that
I got you.
anything to do with stoicism or minimalism, but...
No, yeah, I thought you knew something about it.
I was just saying minimalism, living in the tiny houses and only having 2 shirts.
Yeah. People
I watched a documentary about that.
People wear the same black shirt every day, or they have the same one. Yeah, I feel like that's good for time management because I just want to work on my time management. It's tough. You gotta be productive, and I'm so bad with time management. Sometimes people make fun of me.
It's tough. As a single guy, you can do that. As a married man, you can't do it.
You have no time, right?
Well, no. Minimalism. That doesn't work as a married man. You have to be your own person. You can't be having another person's shit with yours, and just too much to worry about. Minimalism is literally you just don't have that much to worry about because you have so few things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not someone who's blinded by possessions and letting that control you.
Yeah.
You don't have to work a shitty job that you don't like just so you could pay a mortgage on a house where you only use 2 rooms in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just getting rid of what you don't need. What's the superfluous.
I know we got to go, but do you love what you do?
In terms of job?
Yeah.
I would rather podcast for a living, but you know what it is? It gives me an opportunity to, at least being an electrician, I can't say it's my passion, but I got into it because I wanted to be able to build things, to create something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be able to look back at my day's work and say, okay, I accomplished all this, and it's something tangible, something I can see and feel, something that's going to create real-world value. I don't want to be someone just moving around numbers on a computer all day.
Yeah, you're thinking big picture.
Yeah, like I want to literally create something.
Yeah.
So that gives me the opportunity to do that. I don't hate what I do. I'm in a union, which, hey, union pride.
Good man.
I'm all about I'm all about workers' rights and the labor movement and all that stuff. So it affords me the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah.
And the scenery changes.
Gotcha. And I was gonna say, do you have any? I usually say this on my shit. I'm not trying to hijack your stuff, but I was gonna ask about words of wisdom and keys of success.
Yeah, you're making it easy for me right now. Words of wisdom. Don't fake it till you make it. Because
that's a tough one for people.
Yeah.
Because even you got famous people who are like telling you to act like you're successful when you're not. Like I was listening to Adam Carolla, and he was like, if you're in a funk or if you're trying to make moves and stuff, just act like you're successful and it will happen. Like get up and, like he was saying, take the action. Like just move, get up and do 10 push-ups, 20 push-ups. Start thinking like you're a success. Act like you have confidence and it will come. But that, in a way, it seems like you're faking it till you make it. No.
Well, here's the rub. Because
that's why I'm like, what the fuck?
There's a thin line there because you don't want to be a fake.
Yeah, I don't want to be
You
fake.
just want to show confidence. You want to exude confidence.
Yeah.
You want to give off a positive energy.
Yeah.
You want to give off the vibe as someone who's, collected, got his act together, has his goals in line, who knows what he wants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to be someone who's just kind of depending on other people for handouts.
Yeah, no.
And you also don't want to be the person who's acting like they have something they don't, or acting like he's something he's not.
And that's like half of social media. I see all these comedians, fake
Yeah.
shit, rappers, and like I could do that if I want, but I don't. And I even like get annoyed when I have to I post stats and stuff or sponsor stuff, But it is what it is. It really helps sometimes.
It's a delicate balance, man.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to fall into the whole clout chasing thing where
Yeah.
you're renting a car to make it seem like you're rich.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be that.
Rappers have got success off that. Like the faking it till you make it works for some extent to some people.
Well, I mean,
It's
it
crazy.
depends on your lane too.
Yeah, true.
Like if you're a rapper, okay, I get it. You're rapping about having a lot of money in cars. You want to look like you have money in cars.
Yeah, exactly.
But in what we do, I really don't think something like that matters.
Yeah.
I think in what we do, just the content's got to be good. You got to put your passion into the content.
Well, I laugh so fucking hard when I see like this podcast that is like local in their area and they have like 20,000 or like 50,000 followers and like 10 likes on a picture.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, bro. You're buying bots, you're buying likes to act like you're bigger than you are. But it's funny because if you have over 10,000 followers, this is big. You get a swipe up.
Mm-hmm.
So you could post your episodes and people will swipe up and ultimately listen to them. And for algorithm purposes, you'll get more views that way. So I see people who have like 10,000 followers but are fake and still have a swipe up. So it's not fucking fair.
Yeah, well,
Like you have 10,000 fake followers but you
playing
have a
the game.
swipe up.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
fucked up.
they had the system they game the system.
Someone was like, just get 10,000 followers so you could have the swipe up. But I'm like, I ain't buying fucking fake followers.
Yeah, it's a matter of pride, personal pride. Like I won't do it. I would rather, fuck around in small time and do it the real way than have to, to buy it.
What about buying shout-outs? People do that too. Like rappers will buy a shout-out World Star, so their video will be on there, and then they'll get a bunch of views. You're paying, really.
So
It's like you're paying to play.
I'm kind of like forced into being genuine because I don't have the money to be paying people for shout outs. So like if anybody's shouting me out, it's for legit reasons.
Yeah.
I can promise that.
I'm just trying to give game before I leave because like social media stuff, you're probably doing the same stuff I do. And if you start promoting stuff hard, you kind of get shadow banned. I don't know if you know what that is. Like they hide your like tags. Mm-hmm. And I could see that happening with like Fleshlight stuff, Dank Stop stuff, and like Jersey Chance.
What do you mean? Like
if I was like tagging a lot of stuff and promoting a product, I'll post the photo, I swear, and it will go like black and white. Hard to explain really. It's better in person to explain, but like it will go black and white, and like my tags will go missing and my picture will go blank, and it like reloads, and like I don't get like the big pop of likes from the hashtags right away, and I get like just few likes, and it's not as like promoted, and then I'll get a notification like from Hey Locker, I get them now, and it will be like you just earn 20 free credits, and this is Facebook and Instagram sending me this. You just earn 20 free credits to promote your post. Do you want to use that now? And you like sign into Facebook and pay to promote your post. And even comedians who are famous promote their posts, because when you pay to promote, you get more views and more exposure.
Well, yeah, I don't have anything against the promoting your stuff, because the problem with the social media now is it's all run by algorithms.
Exactly.
So you have to do something to get more eyes on it.
Yeah.
If the stuff sucks, then it's going to speak for itself.
Like Locker shit is great, but I don't have a huge following, and he's made World Star various times before, but I didn't pay to play. I didn't put any money into anything, and Instagram wants money if you have a business account or comedy account, and they help you like with the algorithms. But it's all fucked up. It's technically you're faking it to make it.
Yeah, well, that's their business model.
Yeah.
We could do a whole other show about this.
I know.
Would you come back one day?
Yeah. Come on mine.
Hey, man, you say the word. I'll be there.
I got you.
All right. Well, yeah, we're at like an hour and 45 right now. So
My bad. I'm used to 2 hours. I got talkative comedians on my shit. They don't stop talking, and then I ramble.
Nah, it's great, man. Let's have a couple glasses. For me, I'm drinking wine, so it lets the words come out nice and easy.
I forgot to take pictures.
All right. So thanks for listening. You know how to reach us, APodAmongstMen@gmail.com for any comments, suggestions, or questions. APodAmongstMen on Twitter and Instagram. Reach out to us, DM us, like our shit. Subscribe on YouTube now. We are on YouTube. APodAmongstMen. That's our channel. This stuff's going to start showing up there. You know, week by week, you're going to see more of our older episodes coming up. So listen, like that shit, subscribe to our stuff. And Mike, you got any shout-outs before we go?
Shout out my grandma.
Yeah.
And shout out Hey Locker. Just Keep It Basement.
Keep It Basement.
It's
Make
weird.
sure you guys go subscribe. Keep It Basement on YouTube.
It's weird cross-promoting. Because some people are like, oh, it's a rival. But I never look at it like that.
No. I don't do the rivalry shit at all. I'm all
People
about...
do.
I promote other people's fucking podcasts on here.
That's love.
If they're good, God bless them. That's what I'm not religious, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Keep It Basement on everything. Laughable, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Store, iTunes Podcast, everything really. And YouTube. Just shout out to everyone hustling out here. Podcasters, everybody, entertainers, everybody working 9 to 5s, everybody.
Amen to that.
Yep.
And shout out to my dudes, 3 Ninjas.
Shout out to
3 Ninjas podcast. Make sure you guys go listen.
Shout out to Fleshlight too.
Shout out to Fleshlight. Hey, if you want to throw a sponsorship over here, I'll ask my wife, and if she says it's okay, we can do it. Yeah.
We're gonna have some adult entertainers come through. It'll be okay.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
Gonna need to get an okay about that one before we do it. But either way, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace.